And a very good afternoon and welcome back to our live streaming coverage here of the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint as the first of our cars gets underway for the second qualifying run today, and this is Matt Sisson in car number 62. So welcome back to you all. I hope the weather's as pleasant at your place as it is here in North Canterbury. An absolutely glorious day for day one of the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint today. And just looking over the fastest top 6 times so far, of course Hayden Paddon set the benchmark in that first qualifying run this morning at 57.18. Michael Tall on 102.14. Then we have Sloan Cox, the current hill climb record holder, on 103.56. Matt Summerfield in the Subaru Legacy, the local, on 104.36. Close behind on 104.51 is Alistair McRae and the Subaru World Rally car. Richard Bateman is currently the 6th fastest driver on 104.59, but as we say, underway in the second qualifying run now on the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint, and a special thanks to Winmax for being one of our live streaming sponsors. A Japanese brake pad that's one of the leading brake products in the world. It's used by Hyundai World Rally Team and R5 teams and many GT racing teams around the world, and of course used by Hayden Paddon and the AP4 car as seen here at Ashley Forest and in the New Zealand Rally Championship. You can get the Winmax brake pads from Hayden Rallysport. So there we are. Matt Sisson, the first one to complete the run for the second qualifying run, as we wait for car number 61 to come up to the line. Come all the way down from the North Island, and already the times are getting quicker, Lindsay, than they just will as the day continues on. Very, very competitive.
Yeah, and the one I'm interested in about is certainly Hayden Paddon as to whether he's will use that as his own personal benchmark, and let others say, well, you've got to catch it. So I'm not sure those truck guys they won't do too much this afternoon, but the real interest is going to be in the middle of the pack is to see who's going to make that final 32 for tomorrow.
Indeed it is.
He's also campaigned a AE92 gravel car. Apparently he'd watched this event for years.
So on the course at the moment we have car 61, which is Ewan Beattie from Levin in his Datsun Sunny.
Ashley Forest, a rally sprint.
You know, and saying Ewan Beattie from Levin, isn't it great that someone in a lesser car has come all that way over Cook Strait and wants to have a go at this event? Obviously he's watched it on television and that, and here's his chance on a beautiful day here to really throw his Datsun Sunny around the course.
You're looking at what Matt
Indeed, and this was the 1300 class, of course, which we talked about, often referred to as the baby class in rallying, where you really get your feet and get your speed before you move on to something else.
And in doing so, they also race for their own class, which is pretty seriously contested.
Indeed it is.
Finish line. 122.72, so that's a good run.
122.72 for Ewan Beattie. So he's dropped nearly 6 seconds off his time from the first run this morning. So that just gives you an indication of the guys getting in the groove. They've done one run. I guess the road's also getting a wee bit of a line on it as well. And the car's just getting quicker and quicker. Well, here's the man who's currently leading the charge in the 1300cc class. And this is in fact Tim Smith, and Tim currently has the 41st fastest time overall. So Tim Smith set the benchmark for the 1300 class on that first run this morning with a 1 minute 21 even. And he was 0.47 seconds faster than John O'Taylor. So it looks like those two, the only ones, along with Chris Herdman, from when you were in the 121. So let's see what sort of a time Tim Smith can pop down this time.
So these guys are all after 3 spots to come back tomorrow. This is what for the class, the fastest 3 today from each class will come back for tomorrow. And the fastest 32 overall. So that's how it all works.
And I see there's another cup up this year too, Lindsay, which is the Coons Cup for the first newcomer. The fastest newcomer who's a new driver in the 1300 class. So nice to see these classes supported.
Plenty of encouragement, which is absolutely great, isn't it?
So just waiting for Tim Smith to come on the downhill run.
We can't see it, but
here he is over the Kumo Tyres finish line.
And here he comes, managing to pull it up.
Oh, this way, he's all crossed up. He's all crossed up.
He's spun out coming downhill, but he's made the finish line, so the time will count for Tim Smith. 1:16. That's a good time.
1:16.
150 class car.
16. Gosh, that's
First run.
nearly 5 seconds.
That was a serious nudge by Tim Smith,
5 seconds.
which almost fell
An
apart.
drive by Tim Smith.
That's
The
a great time.
21-year-old from Christchurch. Keep your eyes on that name in the future, Tim Smith. Next on the line will
In fact,
be
there's some
Murray
guys in
Christopherson.
the 4-wheel drive rally car class that
59,
aren't quite doing that. So that is a very, very good time.
1987 Sticky Swift GTI.
As we
the
now
similar car, the whole
see
Marina GTI
the
in
little
a few cars' time. He's sponsored by Sadler's Garage and Plymouth Road, Christchurch. Or Sadler's Garage, Plymouth Road, Christchurch.
Suzuki Swift GTI. This is Murray Christopherson,
Murray's
Christchurch.
quickest time for the first run needed a 55th overall of 1:32.03.
Started rallying 5 years ago, and
so
we'll just have a look and see what his time was. Last time he did a 1:32, which was one of the slower cars in the 1300 class. So let's just see
certainly needs to get a finger
how
out
Murray
for
can
a bit of a wiggle
improve on
if
this
he's going
one.
to make that top 3 run on. It's going to be very, very competitive in the 1300cc
Jared's
Carts Indoor Raceway class.
He worked with me years ago.
Hope you're enjoying watching the live streaming coverage from the Momac crew, all done with Wi-Fi and lower technology than the days of the fully broadcasted TVNZ versions of Ashley Forest, which we just found out today the last full live telecast was 1993, so 15 years ago since we had a
So if you're looking to get down the hill in less than 1:30,
full coverage.
perhaps that will be his target.
28 years ago. Grant's maths not the best. He's got a good broadcasting voice, but his maths were not the best. 28 years ago.
There we are, not quite 30, we thought.
Oh, good improvement. 1:25.62.
1:25.62, that is a very good time, yeah, 8 seconds off his time.
Yeah, much better.
Next car on the line should be car 58, Tony Coakley from Motueka, near Nelson.
The next car to come to the line is Tony Coakley from Motueka, in this little unassuming Fiat Uno.
Unassuming being the operative word, Grant, but nevertheless the brand Fiat is very well linked with motorsport.
Indeed it is.
But not the way you know, like this one.
Seems to be a common thing.
No, the Fiat factory teams that came out for Rally New Zealand, I can remember watching those, and spectacular cars.
Fiat Bath was the first one in the late 70s.
His first attempt up the hill, he'll be looking to go a bit quicker than that. If you saw the...
Yeah, well, that was a good start though from the wee Fiat. He didn't get bogged down. He was quite smooth, not quick as you would expect, but he didn't get bogged down and had a really smooth run.
Well, of course, Tony Coakley is very much a fan of European cars. He races a Alfa Sud in classic racing, tracks such as Ruapuna, Mike Hero Motorsport Park, and Levels International Raceway down there near Timaru. So Tony will be making
Just
his
watching
way
Tony
up
heading
through
up
the uphill kink
towards
through
the
corner, and make his way up
Hella
to the
Hairpin.
Hella Hairpin, where we will receive his second split time for the weekend. Will he be able to go quicker than his first run? Everybody in front.
Just coming into the hairpin now is Tony.
He campaigns the ex-Grant Ramsley Alpha Sud in classic racing. $58.20 to the Hella hairpin.
$58.20 they tell us to the Hella hairpin for Tony Coakley.
Tony can come down pretty reasonably through the dip, through the Plough Hotel.
Just waiting for him to come down.
We wait for him to appear through the dust clouds.
A little Fino,
Now Tony
Fiat Uno.
to better his time. He's coming downhill at a great rate of knots. I hope that Fiat's got brakes. 132.75, so don't.
132.75 for Tony Coakley, and he did a 133 even last time, so almost an identical time. Yes.
And this is Gary Meacham
Gary
from
Meacham.
Rangiora, the 58-year-old in the Toyota Starlet. Of course, he's had a fair bit of motorsport history, including
Gary Meacham comes to the line from Rangiora in his Toyota Starlet.
He's raced Mini 7.
And last time Gary did a 127.30 for his first timed run on the Winmax brakes, actually for us Rallysport. And off goes Gary in the Toyota Starlet.
And maybe he decided to get a sponsor like that after that moment for the Lotus 7.
Just as we wait for Gary to get to the top of the course, we'd just like to give a special mention to our one of our live stream sponsors, Imports Parts Specialists. Of course, they were been around since 1988. They started by Paul and Ian Carter, still owned by Paul today. They run at the same location, which is 358 St Asaph Street in Christchurch, and they sell new automotive parts to the trade and the public. Brakes, clutch, suspension, small to hard to find parts for European, Japanese vehicles, and all items of the highest quality, which they pride themselves on. They supply many parts to many of the franchise dealers, wholesale trade, and special indent orders as well. Very competitive, efficient, accurate supplier with nationwide distribution. Import Parts Specialists. You'll find them at 358 St Asaph Street in Christchurch. Import Parts Specialists, one of our live streaming sponsors of the coverage this weekend.
So Gary Meacham is on his way down now, and he's a nice tidy looking run from Gary.
The finish line, here it comes. The time is
just waiting for the time to come through now.
123.86.
123.86 for Gary Meacham, which is quite a bit quicker than his first time.
Indeed it was. He did a 127.30, so good improvement for Gary. As car number 56 comes to the line, and that's Grant Littleton from Timaru in the Holden Barina GTI.
133.02, so
Not quite the same spec as the Canterbury Rally winning Holden Barina AP4.
No,
young Mr. Marsden, Josh Marsden.
Yeah.
Bob Driver Sanyong.
She has the same badge.
Bob
That's
Driver,
about it, isn't it?
the man that's been synonymous with the South Canterbury Car Club.
Bogged a little bit starting to get up the hill for Grant Littlejohn from Timaru.
Been for a ride with
As we said, an organiser and a competitor as well, and the second time competing at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint for Grant Littleton from Timaru.
Now Brendan Fisher is another one that's campaigned in the North 1300cc Supercar Indoor Raceway class previously here at the Winmax.
Grant Littleton's time on the first run was a 133.02.
90% of that goes to the promoter. 90, but then he pays for all my expenses. This is
Grant Littleton from Timaru.
$1,000 a day wireless system.
So should just about to make his way to the Hella hairpin for split time.
great to see such a big crowd out here enjoying the first day of competition for the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. So 59 to the top of the course for
which is pretty much the same type of car
Grant Littleton.
With Murray Christopherson.
Last time a 1:33.02 as he heads down the downhill run towards the finish line. Let's just see what he's managed to shave off his first run time. Cuts in nice and close as he comes around the final corner. 1:31.28.
So he is quicker this time than Murray Christopherson. So we have to watch their battle as the weekend unfolds. The car 55 next up should be Peter Murch,
and
the
here comes
54-year-old from Rangiora.
Peter Murch.
In the Toyota Starlet.
Car 56, as they've just told us, 54-year-old from Rangiora in his Toyota Starlet. Calls it a WRC 1300, doesn't he?
1300 twin cab.
Yeah, I don't know where the WRC 1300 comes from. It could be some secret code of his, I presume.
And of course this was the ex-Mike Tall Starlet.
His aim this weekend is to beat Chris Birdman and John O'Taylor.
Mike Tall, of course, currently the second fastest time of the day so far, but there's his old car in the hands of Pete Murch, the Toyota Starlet, heading on the uphill part of the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint course.
It was run for 3 years by himself, by Mike Tall. It was a class-winning car in the mainland rally series, and Peter bought it in 2016. He rebuilt it for local.
And the overall times from the first round.
You're right there.
Of course, Peter is.
Pete had the 46th fastest time
1200 over the years.
overall, and he was in the top 5 of the 1300 class.
48.28 for Peter Murch through the hairpin, which is a good time for a 1300 car.
He's the quickest one so far in the 1300 to the hairpin, quicker than Tim Smith.
He just told us quickest to the hairpin.
Yeah, it is the quickest time to the hairpin.
And that's a good fast downhill run too.
This is a good run by, this is a very good run by Peter Murch.
Time from Peter Murch, as he's showing his hand early. 1:16.58.
1:16.58
Very close with Tim Smith.
He just improved by 5 seconds on his first time, so they're all coming down.
And that just puts him half a second behind Tim Smith as for the fastest time so far in the 1300 class. Now this is this magic little Toyota Corolla from Waikuku, John O'Taylor. And this is the one with the Hayabusa engine. It was quite a popular thing in the North Island. It seemed that they put the Hayabusa engine in Starlets and Corollas, using the 1300 Hayabusa motorcycle engine. And they certainly sound awesome. Listen to this.
It sounds good, doesn't it, Grant? Doesn't that sound fantastic?
Not like your standard Toyota Corolla, that's for sure.
Oh, no. You know, as the commentators, on-course commentators have just said, it's all like a robber's dog. He took off like a robber's dog, all right. Or launched off like a robber's dog, in your language, Grant.
Talking of dogs, we've got a couple of dogs down in front of us here, but I don't think they belong to any robbers.
Well, yeah. I question dogs being at a motorsport event. However.
So he'll be making his way through the uphill kinks, through Noders, and up to the Hella hairpin, where we should receive a split time.
Waiting for John O'Taylor to get to the hairpin now in the Hayabusa powered Toyota Corolla.
46.56.
46.56, his split time.
Yeah, that's fair cranking. I think that's the fastest so far. Yeah, it is out of the second run. So you got to remember the 16 was for a 48 seconds run to the top of the hill. So could be looking at a 1:15 to 1:14 potentially for John O'Taylor.
Here he comes, John O'Taylor.
Well, let's see what the 41-year-old
across the finish line.
John O'Taylor.
plug that plugs into has got a gel.
All the way from Waikoki.
44 is the time for John O'Taylor.
Just down the road, actually.
1:15:44.
On the line,
So that's Jono, the fastest so far, the 1300 class. As Rangiora local Chris Herdman lines up on the start line. And
He'd fancy himself to get into the top three here, all right, Chris Herdman.
I would think so. And
He's a regular top three competitor in the mainland series in this class.
just for a little bit of reference, Hayden Paddon.
of course, as usual, competitor we've got used to seeing them for many years. Graham Wilson's not here this year.
No.
Off goes Chris Herdman with a little Starlet absolutely singing its way up the hill. Will the conventional Starlet powered car be faster than the Hayabusa powered car today? John O'Taylor went from a 1:21:47 down to his 1:15 to be fastest. Chris Herdman was on a 1:21:92. So there's a real gauntlet thrown down for Chris to see if he can get down into those 1:15:16s. So let's see what sort of a time Chris can put up in this run as he heads towards the Hella hairpin.
And even Australia, where these people are.
So can he go quicker to the split 46.56? That is John O'Taylor's reference.
There he is coming round the hairpin for Chris Herdman.
47.47 now. John
47.47 for the split.
Very much like the man to beat this weekend. Remember, only 3 drivers will make the final tomorrow for the North 1300cc Supercar Indoor Raceway class. This should be about a 1:15, maybe 1:16.
So now you've got a couple of fast guys in the class really putting down the gauntlet. You just can't afford to muck around now, can you? You've got to get onto it. So Chris has done a good job coming on the downhill run. We'll just wait for Chris's time.
1:16:48 for
1:16:48. So just looking at those top times, you've got John O'Taylor on a 1:15:44. We have Tim Smith on a 1:16 even, and Chris Herdman on a 1:16:48. So
the next one on the line. This is
that's getting pretty close. Very, very
James
close.
Clark from Havelock in Marlborough, 45 euros
So
of age.
we move now to the next class, which is the 1300 to 1600cc class. And the first to run in this class will be Jason Clark from Havelock in the Toyota Starlet, car number 52. Jason on his first run today did a 1:26:58. And with those 1300 cars putting in times of 15 and 16, these boys in this class are going to have to certainly knock a wee bit of time up to stay ahead of those 1300 runners.
That's going to be interesting as to how much quicker they are than these the wee cars. I got them. I'm not sure. What was the best time before, Grant, in this class?
The best time in this class before was a 1:18.
Yeah, they'll go quicker, but it won't be much difference, will it?
Because whether you got 1300 cc's or 1600, coming downhill doesn't make an awful lot of difference, does it? It's just that bit of extra grunt maybe to get you up the hill.
It's the way the car's set up and the way you steer, I guess, is a big part of it.
He's around the hairpin.
49.31 for
and we had a few spinners in these two classes in the first run today, but everyone's safely getting up and down the course without any issues at this stage.
And he is there motoring downhill.
Jason Clark's come down the hill in his Toyota Starlet. Of course, Jason is running 2 cars.
95.
1:18:95.
Southern Salvage 1301 1600 class.
Okay, 1:18:95. Of course, Jason, as just mentioned, is driving 2 cars this weekend. So he's also in the rally car class in his Mitsubishi Evo 5. So he gets to get a double look at the course in 2 different cars. So So
the 26-year-old from
Michael
Christchurch, Toyota
Denise
Levin.
from Christchurch in a Toyota Levin. Competed in autocrosses before turning his hand to rallying, which is exactly the way you should enter the sport.
And he's sponsored by My Motorsport, MP
car
Motorsport
51.
application, Sadler's Garage.
Getting
and
set to
Hughes
have
Law.
his second attempt at the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint.
Run. And the Toyota Levin, his best time was a 1:23.44, so looking to improve.
Very tall second gear on
Yes.
that car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't really like it at all.
Highlights include second overall in the 2015-2016 Canterbury Car Club Championship.
So
And
third
second
time
overall
competing
in
here
Class
for
B
Jason at the Ashley
Sprint
Forest
and
Rally
Top
Sprint.
Five Series
As we
with
mentioned,
the
he's in the
Autosport
Toyota
2017.
Starlet in the 13 to 1600 class, but last year in the overalls, driving his four-wheel drive Mitsubishi, he finished 7th and won the four-wheel drive rally class last year. Jason Clark.
Just waiting for the time to the Hella hairpin.
Oh, sorry, that was Jason Clark. Michael Varese, I beg your
51.
pardon. 1:23.44 was his last
So
run
that's
time.
for Michael Veronese. And that was quicker than his first split time this morning. So a good improvement, about a second on improvement for
So
Michael
a
Veronese.
second quicker to the hairpin we hear for Michael as he comes on the downhill
Here he
run now
comes
through the dipper,
to the
across the finish line,
Turbo Tyres flying finish.
and we'll just wait for Michael's time to come through.
1:24.4. Michael Veronese,
1:24.4, so
26-year-old from Christchurch.
in fact a little slower than his first run time.
Okay, next to the line will be in the Southern
And
Salvage 1301 1600 class will be
car number 50 comes to the start line now, which is Raymond Wilkinson from Invercargill.
Toyota Torino.
Competing in motorsport since 1992, although this is the first time he's ventured north and come to the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. Raymond Wilkinson, car 50.
And Raymond was fourth in 1301 to 1600 class, and the first run his time was a 1:25.19. So looking for improvement.
And as Raymond
Quickest
takes off and
was,
heads up
Raymond
the hill,
Wilkinson. Can he go
the
quicker? It's next Stephen
gates
Barker,
open on the
Reece
bottom
Gardner
part of the
car.
course here, so the spectators can cross the track and make their way up to the spectator points up on the hill, and just a continual stream of spectators
It's
heading up the hill. Great to
a
see.
crowd like yesterday, like so many years ago, when they used to pour up that hill, Grant, and it's the same today. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's only day one. We haven't got down to the serious end yet. This is all just going through motions, and they're
That's
up.
right.
Yeah, which is wonderful, and so good for the organisers because they've had a few events where weather's been pretty yuck, and which has turned people away. So it's great to have them here today, and tomorrow's forecast is great
So
as well.
that's 2.5 seconds quicker than his first split time this morning. So a good improvement there. So he should be making
Raymond
his way
Wilkinson
down through
did a
the Hotel
1:35.19 last time, and see how much he's
managed.
managed to shave off that for this run.
1:27.9.
1:27.9, so that's a very good improvement. 7 seconds, just over 7 seconds.
Quicker by about 5 seconds, so a good improvement there for Raymond Wilkinson.
As our next competitor comes up to the line, and this should be T Brinson, which is car 49. Now this is the fastest car in this class on the first run today. We managed to get a 1:18.10, so let's just see what Jonty can do on this particular run.
2016. Third in class at the top of the South, the Rallysport Series 2016. Third, Canterbury 5, Otago Rally 2017, co-driving for
Because
Lloyd Owen.
regularly co-drives for Lloyd Owen in the mainland rally series, and New Zealand Rally Championship events.
Of course,
And
the Owen brothers, a lot of you will know out there, well-known characters in New Zealand motorsport. In fact, if there was a Character of the Year or Personality of the Year award in motorsport, I think the Owens would win it every year in the last 20 years.
I would think so.
And probably that alternate as to who got it.
I have very fond memories of both of them in Rally New Zealand Rally Championship event in the Taupo Forest, and one of them got stuck, and they both got out of the car accusing the other one that it was his fault, and the other one said, "Well, you dig it out, you put it in here," and eventually they did and carried on. But great characters, as you mentioned.
47-46 to the Hallahair.
47-46. That's a lot quicker than he did the first run. So, man, this man really does have the bit between the teeth, and is the one that everyone's going to have to chase for honours in the 1300 to 1600 cc class.
We wait for him to appear from the dust.
It'll be a good time, I think, Grant. It's going to be a good time.
And looking for the time for T Brinson. 1:15.68.
There we go.
1:15.68. Well.
So that's an improvement of 2.5 seconds.
Yep, 2.5 seconds quicker for Jonty.
Next car up to the line. This is
And up to the line comes Shane McKenzie and the Toyota Starlet from Rangiora from Carter's Tyres, another of our live stream sponsors. Carter's Tyres, of course, with their 2 stores in High Street and Flaxton Road in Rangioras. The High Street store looks after your cars, new tyres, wheel balancing, alignments, warranty fitness and servicing, and for trucks and commercials, head down to Carter's Tyres, Flaxton Road.
Bit too much wheel spin there. But either way, once he found second, he settled down there. So we wait what our local boy can do up there.
So Shane did a 1:28.3 last time. And he is currently second in class behind T Brinson, but with a 1:28.3 to pull down to a 1:15.6 is a big call for Shane.
The bar each time out. So you certainly can't rest on your laurels in this competition.
But I guess too for these little cars too, as the line gets a bit more swept when you've got 2-wheel drives only doing the driving, a lot of that helps the improvement, the condition of the road.
Absolutely.
To
but if you get off line, you're gonna be in trouble. You get bogged down, don't you?
At least.
At least. And then, I mean, a 4-wheel drive car can get out a lot more easily. Just put the power through the 4.
Here he is. Shane's crossed the finish line.
He's humping
still. Lying it down as he tries to pull it up, and he pulls it up as he just comes past our.
So he's certainly trying.
1:16.88.
Shane McKenzie from Rangiora.
Well, he did pull the time out, so there we are. We said he needed to do it.
For one of our fine sponsors here, it was a good time.
Indeed, just a second behind
To live up to family expectations.
T Brinson for the fastest in class so far. As Taylor Judd comes to the line. Taylor Judd, of course, son of Jeff Judd, and with the Magnum on the side of the car, Magnum another one of our live streaming sponsor partners.
Yeah, Jeff Judd from Magnum Compliance, wonderful supporter, competitor of motorsport and rallying.
One of 3 who have a bit of a split, so hopefully this time he can get through with a clean run, near them down.
Last time Taylor did a 1:32.
Run clean up to the Hallahair, and he will improve his time. If my memory serves me right, I think Jeff Judd has actually campaigned this Toyota Corolla DX before as well. So see what Taylor's time is to the splits up there at the Hallahair. He's been rallying for 2 years.
Just rechecking Taylor's time. In fact, it was a 1:34.40.
So this should net him a time about 1:20, 1:21 for Taylor Judd, as long as he can keep it all together.
With his split time, it looks like Taylor could pull a good 10 seconds off his time. So that's another good improvement.
Big brothers, is it?
Of course, we did make a note that Taylor did have that spin
he
in
spun.
that first run. So there we
So
are.
that was a huge part of it.
Taylor Judd. 1:19.99.
That's better. 1:19.9.
That puts into around about third place, does it not?
1999. There you go.
Club and Salvage.
It was a good year.
1600.
Well, years ago it would have been a 1:19.50 or something, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right.
Matt Sisson is the
And
next one on
then
the
a
line.
1:19.20.
Again, Matt had
Yes.
And now we're that down,
at the bottom
down
of
to
the
the
time sheet.
extreme
So,
fractions now.
looking forward, to getting a clean
Modern
run.
technology, a bit like how we're
Good time.
coming to you folks all around the world.
Well, we'll see which of his two cars are quicker. The Norton 1300cc supercar.
Matt Sisson in one of the two cars he's
1301 1600
competing in here this weekend.
He gets 2 bites at the cherry. That's Matt Sisson, the 41-year-old.
Matt Sisson from Christchurch in the Toyota Starlet 1600cc. Began competing 3 years ago, did Matt?
Also previously
His third time
campaigned
here
the
as well.
GTR
And
here at this event.
and of course he was driving the Toyota Starlet in the 1300 class as well. And just
So he should be making his way up through the uphill kangaroo notice, making his way towards the Hella hairpin.
and last time, because he had the spin, he was actually faster in the 1300, but I think this time
Not
that
too
might
far away from getting that split time.
be a little bit different.
$49.51 to the Hella hairpin. So that's
Got to the hairpin without a spin this time, so that's
117.
And a 49.51 to the top, so that's a good sign.
Through the Flower Hotel dipper down towards the Blair's engines and tyres finish line. We're waiting for Matt Sisson to appear.
Through he comes.
119.41.
119.41, so
Next man up is
There we
Richard
are.
Bateman, the 49-year-old.
15s, 16s,
In the higher booster powered
and
Starlet,
18 and 19s.
sponsored by AutoSpec Limited. Alignment specialist.
Yeah, it's just showing these times, Grant. There's not much between the two classes, is there?
No, there
that's
isn't.
not the car. And yes, no, sorry, it is the car. Yeah, Richard Bateman, no slug, of course, the former Mainland Rally Series champion. He's won the four-wheel drive rally class. Winmax, brake pads by Rallysport.
Another of the Hayabusa engine cars.
Had a wretched run the first time in this car, of course. They had a couple of bites to get off the line and then spun.
Yeah,
forward
it
here.
seems very
So,
too high revving in the low gears. He was struggling actually off that line, wasn't he?
a
Yes.
decent run. He'd be hoping to do a sub 120 run in this car.
There is a wee bit of talk that they may only get one more run in after this, so you don't want to be making any more mistakes now.
No. Well, we can't see how they're going to get more than one in now.
Currently
No.
7th in the mainland.
The original program had
It'll be 3 or 4 today.
Yep. Had 4 qualification runs, but yes, only 3. We think they will get in
We'll
today.
wait to see what Richard Bateman can do at the hairpin. 49.35. The Hella hairpin.
Another 49. He's 49.35 to the hairpin.
The previous two cars have done a 49 and a 50 to the split.
He's flying downhill.
119, maybe a 118. Just have to wait to see as he comes through the Flower Hotel dipper, down towards the Blair's engines and tyres finish line. Here he comes, Richard Bateman in the Starlet. 117.56.
117.56.
Well, he's sitting there or thereabouts in the sub and salvage
Right.
class. Currently sitting third place.
So the fastest times in the class so far are 1:15.68,
Now we
a 1:16.88, and a 1:17.56.
classic class.
So into the classic class we go now,
Classic two-wheel drive class.
and
Belfast storage, and the first car up.
This is
is indeed
Jim
it is
Tennant
gentlemen.
and the 240
Jim Tennant.
RS. As we were saying this morning, Grant, the 240 RS, a Group B rally car, well known in these part of the world in the 80s, early 80s.
Now, Jim
and of the events they won, if I recall back in their heyday, they always did well in very tough, rough events like the Safari.
Yeah, Shaker Meta.
Yep, that's right.
I think he won the Safari more than once, and it was the 240 RS he won. Probably the last time he won it.
That's right. That'd have been, I think, in places like the Acropolis they did quite well. They were very strong car.
And the course was actually downhill on the uphill part of the course. So we'll see what Jim can do last time.
Jim Tennant in the 240 RS.
146, that ended him with a 120.99.
He heads up towards the hairpin.
Now this is an FJ20 motor, 1994cc. He's had 3 attempts in this event before. He was second in class in 2015. 51.80 to the Hella hairpin. So a touch slower, 2/10 slower to the hairpin. What's that going to result in the downhill time for the overall run? He's owned this car since 2010, and he is third in the two-wheel drive class in 2000 New Zealand Hill Climb champ. 120.75.
120.75.
He's about 2/10 quicker. Just a small margin, but Jim will be happy with that.
He's got a big improvement to make it further, I suggest, the dear old 240 RS, although the classic section.
Yes.
Not many BDAs here this weekend though, is there?
No.
So yeah, we never know.
So here is the RX-7 of Phil Walker.
Last time out.
Phil Walker started rallying at the age of 17 before spending 3 seasons, as we said, racing Formula Fords, and this is Phil's 4th time coming to the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint, and almost the lone RX-7 this year. We haven't seen the likes of John Silcox and some of them that we might have expected to see with their RX-7s out, but this is it. Phil Walker.
John saving his for the last round of the National Championship.
Of course.
His RX-7. I thought he might have bought his Mitsubishi out, which is the 6.5 Mitsubishi, but no, he's saving his pennies to go north again.
After the first run for Phil Walker, time with a 1:16.90. He started rallying back in the mid-80s and had a 28-year break from rallying. $44.54 to the Hella hairpin. They'll be heading down to the Plough Hotel Dipper. And I'm sure he'll be sideways.
Just waiting for Phil Walker to come through and finish his run today.
In the first run.
Second run. The 1:16.90 the first time.
13. So he's put a bit of lead on the jandal, I'd say, as he comes downhill.
And just waiting for Phil's time to come through to us now.
1:12.41, that's a good improvement.
1:12.41 from a 1:16.90. Good work, Phil Walker, in the Mazda RX-7.
So what can Garrett Thomas do? He went quickest last time, 1:13.
Phil Walker was a Formula 4 driver, and he was discussing with me before that he's finding there's a hell of a difference between racing a Formula Ford and going on a gravel road in a rally car.
Now he's been very competitive in the past in the Otago Rally.
Derek Asen,
He's also
a very, very good competitor at Ford Escort.
He's sponsored by Dunlop Tyres, Bow Repairs, Farm Accountants Limited, Clinton Automotive, HRT,
So Derek Asen from Gore in the Ford Escort, running a 2,350cc motor in this particular car. And Derek competing here for the second time at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint.
They've certainly got a lot of support behind them.
So was significantly faster in this class in the first run on a 1:13.11. Let's see what Derek can lay down this time. Obviously Phil Walker has already gone quicker on a 1:12.41.
He's also got a Hollinger dog box and a Hilux diff change.
Derek Asen.
So there's nothing in it. He's quicker, but only by less than a tenth.
On the downhill run comes Derek Asen.
Between these two, what's it going to be as they come down the hill? Derek Asen. 1:11.46.
1:11.46.
Now, I think the quickest BDA escort that I can remember coming down Ashley Forest is around about a 1:05, 1:06. Well, that's not a BDA escort.
1:11.46.
That's quick enough so far for classic two-wheel drive.
So another of the RX-7s. Here we are. This is the Bert Murray and the ex-Richard Kelsey RX-7, a sister car to Rod Millen's RX-7, and painted in very similar colours, of course, to look like the sister car that it is.
The Neil Allport car. Of course, Neil Allport won the national championship.
So Bert Murray has, in typical Mazda style, has it loud and proud off the start line, and up the hill he goes. Bert Murray, the former Central Region Rally champion.
He's taking out half the crowd in front of us with dust.
Also, thanks to Dave
Thick,
and Karen Ellis,
choking dust.
And special thanks to Mrs. Brown
As I'm sure you can realise, folks, as you watch this come through your computers.
46, 67, and that netted him with a 1:14.99.
She's very dry up here, that's for
A
sure.
little bit out of touch with the two front runners.
And grateful for the Momac team moving our commentary position back just a little from the dust as well.
46,
Yes, we can see our screen now, which is
not
great.
too far away, but about 2 seconds down on our front running Derek Asen. Yeah, that's going to net about a 1:14.
So Bert Murray giving it heaps on the downhill run to try and get somewhere close to Derek Asen. A 1:14.99 last time as he comes across the finish line. Let's just wait for his time.
1:13.25.
1:13.25, so he's shaved a little more off his time, but not enough to get close to Derek Asen at this stage. As we wait for our next competitor to come to the start line, and this is the unlimited two-wheel drive cars now, and this is the first of those, which will be Gavin Reid.
And he's sponsored by Andrew Tim South, Raw Coffee, Temple Tattoo, Choppers Tyres, First run up the hill, of course, for Gavin today.
Gavin Reid did a 1:18.78. First time out on the course in the BMW today.
Which was a very respectable time, really, considering that this is quite a big car, really, quite a big heavy car.
It is.
He was co-driver since 2008. Now he's been a rally driver since 2014. And of course, he used to watch this event in the 80s on TV, as many of us did. $47.20 to the Hella Hairpin.
Okay, 47.20 to the Hella Hairpin we've heard.
Nearly a second quicker So that will be a good time here. This should be about a 1:17, maybe a low 17, high 16. We'll have to wait and see what car 38 does, Gavin Reid. He heads down from
the unlimited two-wheel drive.
The finish line.
And Gavin Reid in the
1:15.22.
BMW does a 1:15.22.
I think comparable with the likes of Ari Pedigree.
So he's taken 3.5 seconds off his first run time in the BMW. Gavin Reid from Invercargill. As car 36 comes to the line now. Steve Press from Kaiapoi and the big 5-litre Holden Commodore.
The Holden Commodore, V8, 5-litre, 308.
He finished third in the unlimited two-wheel drive class here last year, but blew a gearbox in the runoff.
You're not really made for this sort of thing, Grant, is it? But
not really.
It'd be a handful too. It'd be you'd have big hairy arms to drive this thing up here, wouldn't you?
Imagine the downhill run in this one.
Oh, it'd worry you, wouldn't it? Really,
it would, really.
I mean, it got away on you.
Last time up to the Halley Hairpin.
A 1:21.98 he did last time. Let's see what he can pull out of the bag in the big Holden this time.
98. We're looking to go under 50 seconds. The only really setback he's had in this car is blowing gearboxes. So if you want to keep that gearbox together this weekend.
Yeah, pretty good.
And here he comes up to the hairpin now, the Halley hairpin. Manages to muscle the big Holden around the very tight hairpin. Out pretty wide, that's not surprising. And down the hill he comes.
So 48.40, so that's good improvement. Just under 2 seconds quicker for Steve.
Nice and wide coming down to the last corner.
Flower Hotel dipper. It will appear through the trees and across the Kumo Tyres engine's finish line.
Yep. The big Holden pulls up at the end of his second run today.
1:20.38 is the time for Steve Papp.
1:20.38.
Just Grant, whilst we're talking to folks out there, just to welcome all of you from all around the world. We've had some feedback from some amazing places, all the way from Maine in the States to Australia up to Indonesia, and we welcome you all here and hope you're enjoying this wonderful coverage.
And certainly Paul Mullen, no slug either.
And you're most welcome to send a message on whatever Facebook platform you are watching, and let us know where you are and how the coverage is coming through at your place. We hope the weather is as nice as it is at your home as it is outdoors here in North Canterbury today for the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint, as we wait for Paul Millen from Leaston in the Datsun 1200 with the 1.8 litre Nissan CA18 engine planted in. No doubt that improves the power to weight ratio for this little car, and let's see what Paul can do this time. He did a 1:18 last time, so that certainly put him up in the top 3 for this class. So let's see how Paul can improve on this particular run.
We've got a youngster by the name of Jack. He is looking for his dad, Mark. He is up here at the crossing gate. So, Mark, if you can't find Jack.
So we're in the unlimited two-wheel drive car class, and just waiting for car number 35, Paul Mullen, to get off the start line.
Can they send him to the crossing at the start line? Be reunited with Jack. So just waiting for the debris to be cleared, the marshals to be back in place, and we will be able to get underway.
Just a little bit of a hold up on the course we here, just clearing a little bit of debris on the course, and once that's cleared, then Paul will be given the okay to proceed on his second attempt at the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint course.
Weekend we have some free giveaways from Supercarts Indoor Raceway. It's a $5 off an entry at Supercarts Indoor Raceway. And I think we'll have some questions to give those tickets away. Of course, Indoor Raceway, Supercarts Indoor Raceway, down there at Byron Street.
And revving up, getting ready to go, and he is underway. Paul Mullen.
In the X-Tray Hyde car. It's the ZM Spears Helmac engineering car.
And doing a very good job, very efficiently getting up the hill is Paul Mullen.
Grant, you would have watched this event from the television in the early days, wouldn't you?
Yes.
As a young fella in Hamilton.
Indeed, I mean we didn't shift to Rangiora until '95, so
You saw
every
a lot of it.
telecast we
So,
sat
did
there
you
and
watch
watched
it?
Oh, absolutely, religiously,
Yeah.
religiously.
Because there was a feeling down here that the North Islands were very, very jealous of it and tried hard to get it scuttled.
Right.
Now, whether that was just us being sensitive down here, I don't know. But you didn't ever hear that sort of rumour?
No.
No, okay. Well, it's good.
But there was, I mean, there's nothing in the North Island that could possibly match a venue like this. I mean, this is just the perfect rally sprint course.
I think
isn't
the
it?
Mystery Creek Rallycross at Hamilton was one that had quite a high profile, didn't it?
Did. Yes, in fact I was involved in doing the television coverage of that particular event, but nothing like the forest, the trees, the uphill, the downhill that you get in a course like this.
1:14.72 for Paul Mullen.
1:14.72, that's a very good improvement from a 1:18.
So that's a great improvement
So that
for Paul.
makes him
Paul was
the fastest
here in 2014.
competitor
Moving on to the
so
next
far.
competitor, it is Shane McKay. I tell lies.
So
It's Jeff Coombs.
this is Jeff Coombs coming up to the line now in the
Now,
Suzuki
Jeff is the
Swift.
former winner of the
This
North
Wii Suzuki
American
is a real giant killer. This is really prepared, this car, and it showed last time, didn't it?
It certainly did.
SAS Canelli Cams. Suzuki Ingus.
Nice smooth takeoff there.
And 31 years rallying and race. Of course, he's a former Mini 7 driver. And he got fourth in the New Zealand.
As we mentioned earlier, this car, of course, purpose-built by Rally Art and Rod McMillan in Auckland to compete in the New Zealand rally class, the 0 to 2000 cc, so it's 2 litre Suzuki Ignis. And as we say, a very light, very efficient little car, and Jeff did a 1:21.05 the first time. Let's see what the little Suzuki
You
can
can
pull this
tell by
time.
the way it took off. A little car like that should have really struggled, but it's obviously the gearing was perfect. Unlike your standard box in the Starlets, you know, which you struggle with.
To the Hella hairpin. So that's 2 seconds quicker.
It's 2 seconds quicker to the top of the hairpin we hear as he
So we should be looking about a 1.
pedals the little Suzuki Ingus down the hill now.
Comes through the Flower Hotel zipper.
And here he comes through the finish line, the little Suzuki,
Finish line, here he is.
and wait for his time.
1:18.54.
1:18.54, so he did do a great improvement. That's
Question to those people that are listening at the zipper.
yep, just over 2
At this
seconds
stage,
quicker
we'll
for
hopefully get the
Jeff Coombs.
answer radioed back. Now, there was a driver that competed at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint in recent years. He also competed in
As I
circuit
think
racing
we've got
and stock cars. I think he was a former
Jim.
Mini 7 driver. He also campaigned stock cars, modifieds, TQs and sprint cars. What was his name?
Altezza for Jim Tennant. So he's hopped out of the 240 RS and into the Toyota Altezza. Jim started rallying in 1979 in a Vauxhall Chevette. The fourth time he's competed here at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint, and as we mentioned, also driving that 240 RS replica here this weekend. So Jim Tennant
also competed in speedway and circuit racing,
on the course.
driving Mini 7,
Did a 1:22.94 last time on this particular car.
.46.69 for the Hella hairpin. It's a great improvement there from Jim. 51 was the last split, so a good wee improvement. This should net a good run somewhere in the 15 to 16 seconds, 1 minute 16 for Jim Tennant in the Altezza as he comes through the finish line.
And the Toyota Altezza comes through the finish line. A popping and a banging.
1:16.06 is
1:16.06.
Jim Tennant, so a cracker run there.
That was a great improvement for Jim Tennant. 1:16.06 would currently put him third fastest in this class behind Gavin Reed and then
Was it
Paul
A,
Mullen.
Nathan Clyde,
Sorry, Paul Mullen, then
B,
Gavin Reed,
Lawrence Sidnall,
and then Jim Tennant. Currently the
C,
top three
Jason
in this
McConnell.
class.
So next up we have
Jeff
another
Two.
one of our lads from the central region of New Zealand in the form of Shane Mackay from Otaki in the Subaru Impreza. He's been rallying for many, many years, but has never come down to do the rally sprint. And I guess he's like so many have watched on TV and said, I'm going to do this one day. So here is Shane Mackay from Otaki on the west coast of in the Wellington region.
46.41. It gave him a 1:15.06 to complete the course.
A 1:15.06
So can he improve on that 46?
last
One
time
driver still to come.
on the course.
Drivers there pretty fast, but at the moment we're looking at Shane Mackay from Otaki up to the Hella hairpin. Should receive a split time. .56 is the split time.
A 45.56 for Shane Mackay.
Levin can do downhill. So waiting for Shane Mackay to come around the final corner. He's been through the Flower Hotel Dipper. Here he comes. Here comes the Impreza.
And just waiting for Shane's time to come through now.
1:17.40 for
1:17.40
Shane Mackay.
for Shane Mackay, so a little slower. Just over nearly 2.5
just
seconds
repeating
slower this
that
time.
for a free 10-minute ride at the Dipper.
So,
We had a driver who competed here in recent years, the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. And okay, we'll come back to that in a minute because we've got Chris Hay on the line, and in the muck seat we've got Doug Good. So this is sure to be
here
a
we
good
have
run
Chris Hay,
up the hill, and of course Doug,
this
one
very,
of the men
very
that's
quick
been responsible
Toyota
for the
MR2.
rejuvenated Ashley Forest
Last
Rally
time
Sprint
did a
over the past decade
1:08.90.
or so.
Chris Hay, of course, holds the two-wheel drive record here on the course and a 1:02.15. No doubt working his way towards the money round, as they say. Another very good launch off the line for Chris Hay.
Last time up the hill was a 42.72. It gave him a 1:08.90, and that was quickest by a fair margin. So we'll see what happens this time as he makes his way up. This is Chris Hay, the fastest ever two-wheel drive car.
And this is one of those home-built special cars you could say really has been a work of evolution over the years. It's been around in the same form. Every year he comes, it seems to get faster, quicker.
Evolution is correct. Grant, he's built this from scratch and put the turbo quite a pound, Nissan powered car with turbo.
The time he did to the Halley hairpin, 2 seconds quicker. So will this net an 06, a 1 minute 06? We'll see. Looking pretty good. 106.07, a big thumbs up there from
106.07.
I'm sure that would be the best 1 minute 6.
Chris Hay used to be in the service crew for Barry Robinson in the very early days of the rally sprint here, and he was one of his spanner men, and just coming with Barry here for those first few years when Barry was so successful, and Curly, as we call him, he's anything else but Curly, decided he had to have a go himself, and this is what we set about building up.
Start line for a Supercars Indoor Raceway, 10-minute ride, 3 10-minute rides. If someone can tell me, there was a driver in recent years who competed here in Ashley Forest Rally Sprints, and also
Richard Clark is lining up now for the first of our four-wheel drive rally class cars. Richard Clark from Invercargill in the Subaru Legacy.
Modified TQs and sprint cars. Was that driver A, Nathan Clyde, B, Lawrence Sidnall, C, Jason McConnell, D, Jeff Coombe, or E,
Richard Clark heading off
Kevin Clyde.
up the hill as the first competitor to run in this category. Last time he did a 1:23.78 for Richard.
The answer, you'll get a
just while we wait for Richard to get to the top of the course and the Halley hairpin. Just a special thanks once again to all our live streaming sponsors, Winmax Brakes, to Magnum Automotive, to Import Parts, Carter's, Tyres and Runiora, and Brita Safety, making our live streaming broadcast across this weekend possible and getting the vision to you wherever you may be. So we wait for Richard Clark. He's been round the hairpin, wait for him to come down the hill now and to the finish line, and he was 2 seconds quicker, they say, to the hairpin quicker. So will that translate to 2 seconds faster across the finish line? Let's see how much he may have improved. Richard Clark,
1:21.51.
1:21.51, and that is
good time for
a 2 second improvement.
Yeah, Richard Clark again, 2 seconds quicker in that run.
As we haven't
So once
one of
again,
our dual
question for a 3 10-minute ride
driving
at Supercars Indoor Raceway on the
entries coming up. This time it's Michael Tom first up in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 1, which he shares with Sheldon Bell, and last time Michael did a 1:11.85. Sheldon was considerably quicker in the car at a 1:06.39, so I'm sure there's been plenty of chat over the lunch break between those two, winding each other up. So ex-New Zealand V8 touring car driver Michael Tom behind the wheel of the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 1, and up the course Michael Tom heads towards the Halley hairpin.
The answer, and they'll get us back to us, and we'll get a free ride from Supercars Indoor Raceway to you. Michael Tom from Auckland, he is on the course at the moment in the Mitsubishi Evo
at the
1.
hairpin, and quite a wide line out of the hairpin for Michael Tom as he heads on the downhill run part of the course now. Michael Tom looking to improve a 1:11.85. Let's see what he can do.
Evo 1, the first of the magic Mitsubishis in that era of the 90s, early 90s.
43.07, the split time for Michael Tom. He's already down here to the finish line. We're just trying to find out if anyone's managed to get Lawrence's very hard question.
So just waiting for Michael Tom's time to come through.
Well, multi-choice makes it a wee bit easier there, Nathan. Being a relation of the answer of the question makes it even easier, Lawrence. So we've already got a winner. Well done to that person. We're just
Still waiting for Michael Tom's time as our next competitor comes up to the start line, which is Sam Gardner from Woodend in his Subaru Legacy RSR.
That you didn't pick up on, but we won't go there. We'll move right along. This is car 29, and this is Sam Gardner from Woodend in the Subaru Legacy RSR.
Oh.
So Sam Gardner from Woodend in the Subaru Legacy. Sam's second year of competing. And he's making his debut here at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. See, carrying Woodend Automotive on the side of that car. Dave and the boys have got that tuned up mighty finely. That car, that Subaru Legacy, sounding very good as he heads off the line. And he did a 1:15.56 last time.
It didn't sound like a Subaru Legacy to me.
No, you're right there. That's probably what it's been.
It was, externally. I don't think inside it.
What can he do as he makes his way up to the Halle Hairpin for the second time this weekend?
Saying 23.
44-2 to the Halle Hairpin.
44.2 to the Halle Hairpin
42
for Sam
good
Gardner.
time there for Sam
And
Gardner, car 29. Second improvement for that one, so looking for a good result this time. Should be in the range of 111. It comes down to the finish line through the
Sam
Flower
Gardner
Hotel Dipper.
across the finish line.
1:12.62.
1:12.62. So 3 seconds quicker for Sam Gardner on this run. And car number 29. As car 28 comes to the line, and we should have Craig Cox from Christchurch in a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 2.
It is Evo 2.
Of course, Craig raced ATV quad bikes before moving on to rallying. First time competing in Ashley Forest.
Last time to the Halle Hairpin, 44.25, and that gave him a 1:12.72, so he'll be looking to go quicker, Lawrence. Yes, the 23-year-old will want to boogie uphill in the Evo 2. He's done a fair bit of ATV quad bikes. So, yes, he's also the current New Zealand 1 NZ for ATV Speedway Championships. And also NZ
Did a 1:12.72 last time. Let's just see what Craig can do. He heads to the split time now.
Countrywide distributors, Aegis Oil and Oscar's Alley Cafe.
It was a very, very good effort around the hairpin,
And
and
it's the next Garrett Thomas car, originally built up by Corey Shaw.
as he comes on the downhill run now towards the finish line.
An improvement again for Craig Cox. Here he comes through the Blair's Engines and Tyres, Kumo Tyres finish line.
Just waiting for Craig Cox's time.
109.69.
1:09.69.
Craig Cox. Good
So
improvement.
that's another 3 second improvement.
Improving with every
So
run.
he picked up a couple at the
Well, that's
hairpin
a great time for
and
Craig
one
Cox.
on the way down.
And
3
moving on to
seconds
our
quicker
next
for
competitor
Craig
now.
Cox in the second
27
qualification
metres,
run
Nigel
here
Lawson,
of the Winmax Brakes
41
Ashley Forest Rally Sprint.
Allentown.
Car number 27 to the start line. This is Nigel
He's been
Lawson
the
from
navigator for 20
Allentown.
years. He's done the Dunedin Rally Otago.
After 20 years of navigating,
Rally 2008.
this is his first time competing at Ashley Forest.
Pretty smooth start off there, and I think it's an Evo 2. We're not told here, but I think it looks like an Evo 2.
So Nigel will be looking to go quicker.
Great little warhorse, those cars. They're very, very quick still too. In fact, they're quicker than some of the later ones, I think.
So Nigel last time a 45.53
Good Evo 3 is a good, pretty hard car to beat.
1:17.57 was the time.
Because they became a little heavier once you got the 4s and 5s.
Yeah, they did. They became a lot heavier.
And the wheelbase went a wee bit wider. And I know a lot of the rally drivers say the 2s and 3s were nice. They'd sit across the crown of the road and just perfect for New Zealand's crowned road conditions, they thought. So the others were a little bit bigger, but we watch them come round the hairpin now and on the way down the course for Nigel Lawson. A 1:17.57 last time.
Is a split time for Nigel Lawson to the Hella hairpin.
Heading towards the finish line now comes Nigel Lawson.
So here he comes over the finish line. (1:16.23).
1:16.23, so that's nearly 1.5 seconds quicker.
An improvement, nevertheless.
So next up we have
Willie Hawes.
Willie Hawes from Christchurch and Salika.
GT4.
This is his fourth
Last time out,
visit here to Ashley Forest with Willie. Salika from the early 90s, well known, driven by Carlos Sainz. We won the World Championship in '92. Was this model Salika?
So waiting at the line.
And indeed, he won Rally New Zealand on his way to that.
When they move, it triggers the timing feed to start timing. So Willie Hawes.
That wasn't a bad launch for Willie either. Competing here for the 4th time.
42.88.
And he competed in the mainland series in 2015-16. Did the odd event this year, but I don't think he did the full series this year, did Willie?
So he'll make his way up.
A 1:11.09 last time that he took to the course, so let's just see if Willie can improve
magnitude copy
as the others have.
And of course plenty of food options down the bottom of the hill as well. Split time coming through. (41.66), so an improvement.
41.66, an improvement for Willie by 1 second at the top of the course.
Can he beat a 1:12.72? He comes through the Plough Hotel dipper, plenty of pace on. Here he comes across the Kumo Tyres finish line.
Just wait for Willie's time.
Willie or won't he?
1:06.77 is the time for Willie Hawes, and
1:06.77 was it?
Over with the roving height.
77, okay.
So,
That's
stand by for that.
a very good improvement from a 1:11.09.
This is Scott Jones.
So up to the line now comes Scott Jones.
For Scott and the Mitsubishi Evo.
And yet another of the Mitsubishi Evos. This is a version 8.
So we see what he can do. Anti-lag on. You can hear the car
previously owned by Regan Ross.
Scott Jones last time 1:07.84 to complete a run.
And certainly was a very successful car in the hands of Regan Ross.
He makes his way up the
And
hill.
Marcus Van Klink also owned this car. Now in the hand of Scott Jones from Pleasant Point, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 8, as he heads up the course towards the Hella hairpin. Chasing a 1:07.84 as his previous time.
Scott's been competing for the last
Fastest
9
in the
years
class
with
now.
Rallysport.
We've just seen Willie Hawes at a 1:06.77. So let's see what Scott can pull out on his second run. Round the hairpin and down the hill he comes.
So Scott Jones, 41.81, so he's consistent with his split time. 41.76 was the last split time for him. So a little bit slower, but not by much. A couple of tenths in it. So should be looking to replicate his time from the first run in the 107 mark. Could be a little bit quicker though. 106.52 is the time.
106.52, so just over a second quicker on his second run.
I'm just over here by the start line. Yeah, if someone could please tell me, I'm over here by the tree, if someone can tell me who won this event 3 times. There are 3 different drivers who have won this event 3 times. If someone can tell me the names of those 3 drivers, they'll receive a 10-minute ride at Supercar.
Sam Hurley, car number 24. Sam's from Rangiora in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 3.
Sam Hurley in car 24, shoots way from behind the Mitsubishi Evo 3. 45.23.
Started rallying in 2011 in a rear-wheel drive Toyota Starlet. Upgraded to the Evo in 2014 and competing here for the 3rd time at Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. Sam Hurley, car 34, heading to the top of the course.
Today, and here's another clue. One of those drivers has previously set the 2-wheel drive and
up to the hairpin
record here at Ashley Forest previously.
He heads.
So name those 3
as we
drivers
wait for Sam to negotiate the big tyre at the top of the hairpin, and he's done that now and heads downhill. Just a special call out to Brita Safety, who are one of our live streaming sponsors here this weekend. You'll find them at 591 Horswell Junction Road in Hornby, Christchurch. They specialise in all sorts of safety equipment, safety gear, clothing, work boots, corporate clothing. They do screen printing, monogramming, and they'd like to fit you out to make your brand stand out. They work 7:30 to 5:30, they're open, and at the moment if you go in and see them before the end of September and mention that you heard this and were at Ashley Forest, you will have a 15% discount on your new John Bull or Blundstone footwear and a free gift with purchase. 1:12.39 is the time, so a little bit quicker.
This is Corey McCaskill from Cromwell, the Subaru Impreza. 107.94 was the time last time.
1:12.39 for Sam Hurley.
42.18 was the split to the Hella hairpin.
And we wait for
like
Corey McCaskill now to get underway from the start line, car 23.
3 times, name those 3 drivers. And they are in the program.
Corey McCaskill's come all the way from Cromwell. He competes in hill climbs, rallies, street races and track days. And he made it was 18th last year, didn't quite get to the top 16 cutoff in 2016. Not here last year, but Corey McCaskill from Cromwell has come back to have another go this year in car 23.
Navigating through the uphill kick, through notice. Looks like we've got a winner here, Nathan. Yeah, okay, what was the answer?
1:07.94 was
Oh, congratulations,
Corey's
you've got a 10-minute ride, a free 10-minute
time
ride.
last time. Let's see as he comes on the downhill run what he can stop the clock at this time.
Great stuff, Lawrence. 41.86, so a good improvement there for Corey McCaskill. He's making his way through the Flower Hotel Dipper. We should see him come through at the side. Here he comes across the line, the Kumo Tyres and Engines finish line.
Just waiting.
1:07.02 is the time.
1:07.02, so hasn't shaved too much off his first half a second quicker.
But improvement nevertheless.
So Corey
Next
McCaskill
coming up to the line is car 22.
is still definitely in the hunt in this class,
This is Mike.
and
Sorry,
it
this is
would
not
currently
car
rate
22, this
as
is car
the
21.
3rd fastest time,
This
so
is
still in that top 3, which will be the cutoff for the classes as well, but should be enough to get him certainly through into the top 32 and perhaps the top 16.
Oh, sorry.
42.51 to the split. So we'll see what Sean can do this time.
Sean Haggerty underway now. Sean Haggerty from Rangiora, car number 21.
Winmax
in the Subaru Impreza.
You could call Sean a pretty established driver these days. He's been around the scene here in the South Island part of rallying in New Zealand for a long, long time. And he goes pretty well too.
Best result here was 8th overall in 2017, so last year. Made the top 8.
We're waiting for the time to come through.
As we wait for Sean's time, last time Sean did a 1:08.
What's the split last time?
So a 1:08.38 last time.
42.68, so a tenth slower, but
he's a little bit slower at the hairpin, they tell us.
The hairpin.
But let's see if he can make anything up on the downhill run.
About a 1:08, maybe even a little bit quicker.
Probably heading for a similar time for Sean Haggerty. 1:08.38 last time. What's this one going to be?
Engines and Tyres, Kumo Tyres finish line. 1:09.39.
1:09.39. So he's in fact dropped 1 second
just a touch
on the run down the hill.
His previous effort. So this time,
and up to the line comes Mike Beltrop.
Comes to the line. This is car 22, so a little bit of a shuffle
This is
in the
car
order.
22, and as you will see, just slightly out of order for Mike.
So 43.48 was the time last time up to the.
Mike did a 1:10.64 last time,
1:10.
so he will need to pull a bit of time out of that to make sure that he's in the top 3 of this class.
So we'll see what the Subaru can do. Of course, Mike Beltrop and the WRX, that was the first one to be rallied in the country. And Mike has competed here at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint on a number of occasions. This is another attempt in the chapters. 41.65 the split time for Mike Beltrop. So we'll see what he can do on the downhill.
Just waiting for Mike to come on the downhill run now, and looking to improve on a 1:10.64 last time for Mike.
So we'll see what he can do, Mike Beltrop. Here he comes across the Blair's Engines and Tyres finish line. A 1:08.27.
1:08.27, so he is just over 2 seconds quicker than his previous run. So that's getting down in amongst the fastest for the class. As Jeff Judd comes up to the start line from Magnum.
Experienced hand.
Of course, also one of our live streaming sponsors this year, and of course Magnum also have opened most recently a Dunedin branch where Busters Grooming, Dunedin's best vehicle groomers are based. So if you're in Dunedin, folks, head down to the Magnum location in Dunedin and you'll find the best vehicle groomers there. Also lock-on tow bar specialists, installer for all vehicles and models. Dunedin's best tow bar deals. They do warranty fitness servicing and repairs. Also approved by all warranty companies, automotive compliance specialists, import compliance, lapsed registration inspections, of course project restoration vehicle compliance, accident write-off re-inspections, motorsport vehicle compliance as well. You can get all that done in Dunedin at Magnum's Dunedin branch, also in Christchurch as well, as we wait for Jeff Judd to come downhill now after getting around the Hella Hairpin.
At the Hella Hairpin.
Of course, Jeff Judd, very well known in his own right for his co-driving at an international level, and also his own personal efforts, where he won his first rally in the mid-80s, which is the West Coast Rally in an Escort 1600, and is now focusing primarily on the driving as opposed to co-driving.
They're humming downhill there for Jeff Judd. 104.24.
104.24. Well, there we are.
That is a solid time.
That is
104.21.
That's slightly faster than Matt Summerfield in this class in the first run, did a 104.36. So Jeff Judge just eclipsed that with a 104.24. And of course, Jeff also still has the BDA Escort as well, which Brian Green of late has been competing in the Mainland Rally Series with. So, Jason Clark, of course, competing in the two-wheel drive classes as well. Jason Clark doing dual duties like several other drivers this weekend. Back into the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo for Jason, Mitsubishi Evo 5. He finished 7th overall and won the Rally 4-wheel drive class here last year. And Jason managed a 106.35 on the first run. Let's see what he can pull out of the bag this time. Round the hairpin comes Jason.
40.90 to the Hella Hairpin.
40.90.
Heading down to the Flower Hotel Dipper.
And
so again, similar split time to what Jeff did before, only a few tenths in it.
We'll see him appear in just a moment. Here he is.
105 territory. What are we going to see?
Jason Clark.
106.03 for Jason Clark.
106.03, so just over 3 tenths of a second quicker this time. As we wait for Richard Bateman to pull up to the start line in car number 18 from Blenheim, and like Jason, he's competing in 2 cars this year as well. So Richard Bateman back in the Mitsubishi Evo 9, and this is the 8th time that he's competed here at Ashley Forest.
Built by Autospec Limited Blenheim and contained this year in the New Zealand Rally Championship. He says it's a fun car to drive. Well, would we just all that horsepower?
So Richard Bateman did a 109.59 on his first attempt.
Great start from Bateman. Of course, he's been around a long time as Richard. He's very experienced competitor.
So can we see maybe a 103 or a 104, a low 104? We'll see how it goes to the hairpin. He's got to get...
so 104.59, I wonder how much more he's wound the wick up for this one.
Well, Richard Bateman, a former mainland champion. And
of course, I can imagine all the best tyres in the ultimate tune-up of the turbo will all wait till tomorrow, but it's just a matter of getting through and getting into the top 32 today without breaking anything and keeping your car in good nick for the elimination runs tomorrow. As Richard Bateman comes down the hill and towards the finish line.
To see Richard Bateman giving it all across the Kuma Tyres, Les Engines and Tyres finish line. 103.45.
103.45. So just over a second quicker for Richard Bateman. As our first qualification run fastest driver, Matt Summerfield, comes to the line. He did a 104.36 last time.
Now our 3-time winner of this event, Matt Summerfield, who was runner-up New Zealand Rally Championship last year. Local stamping ground this, running the Subaru this event as opposed to the Mirage he ran last year in normal rally spec. Oh,
Tech
thank you.
Services, Brake Tech, Recycle Yourself, Horton Signs, North Canterbury Energy Centre.
So away goes Matt
And
Summerfield
he's the former
in the
junior
Subaru
national rally
Impreza.
champion.
And as Lindsay mentioned, of course, has been runner-up in the New Zealand Rally Championship, and he's back in a bit of a 3-4-way fight for the runner-up spot in this year's championship. Of course, Hayden Paddon has wrapped the title up with one round to go. They'll be going up to do the roads well known for Rally New Zealand days of the Whanga Coast out to Raglan for the final round of the New Zealand Rally Championship.
Wonderful roads. If anyone's up that way and you know the area, well, it's those great stages to get to up there.
And you're going to see some class acts with the likes of Hayden, Matt Summerfield, and Josh Marsden, and the guys all competing to try and finish or get that runner-up spot behind Hayden Paddon this year.
Finished third at the Otago Rally this year.
So Matt Summerfield has
104.37.
104.37 for Matt Summerfield.
Second slower. That run so pretty consistent from Matt Summerfield. Let's see consistency. Now we've got Garrett Clark on the line. 39-year-old from Invercargill, Subaru Legacy. Has been here before. He's sponsored by Strange Automotive, Road Safety Southland, About Joinery.
Right, so you couldn't get much more consistent for Matt Summerfield than that, a 104.36 and a 104.37. As Eric Clark heads off up the hill, Eric Clark from Invercargill in the Subaru Legacy runs in Class E, which is the pre-92 class for the Mainland Rally Series. And up here with his four-wheel drive Subaru Legacy to compete at Ashley Forest. Likes doing hill climbs, rally sprints in particular, and second time that he's come here. Couldn't have turned on a better day to welcome Eric and everybody else to the first day of the Winmax Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint.
So a bit of time to make up downhill.
He did a 1:11.88 last time, so a little bit of time to find.
Was that 1:11? So he wants to stay in that 32. He's going to have to go a little bit quicker than that. Well, this is an older car. Of course, the Subaru Legacy has won this event before in the hands of Possum Ball.
Here comes Eric around the finish line.
1:11.87.
1:11.87. So
We'll talk about being consistent.
a bit like Matt Summerfield, just a 100th in it.
Quicker. Sometimes that's all it takes to stay in that elimination run.
1:11.88 to 1:11.87.
Well, we've got Sheldon Bell from
And here comes Sheldon Bell, the car that we saw Michael Tom head up the course earlier on, sharing the drive in this Mitsubishi Lancer
Anyone can remember how competitive
Evo 1.
Auckland used to be in the National Rally Championship.
Sheldon made a very good time last time. 1:06.39 for Sheldon first time.
Responsible for a lot of the Shell starlets running the rejuvenated Shell Sport Series, including the likes of Mike Bamber, who's a former three-time winner of the Shell Sport Series. Sheldon's time last time around to get him 10th overall in the first run.
So Sheldon competed here for the first time last year, finished 15th overall, so inside the top 16. And with a 1:06.39 last time, it would be interesting to see how much he can go quicker this time. Safely around the hairpin and down the downhill section of the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint comes Sheldon Bell.
39.78 to the Howler hairpin, that's a good time for Sheldon
39.78 at the hairpin, that is a very good time.
We'll see what he can
And
do. He comes across the finish line and he's bare flying. 1:03.96.
1:03.96.
Sheldon Bell. So that would put him in front of Matt Summerfield on the previous run.
So that makes Sheldon the second fastest in this class so far on a 103.96. Richard Bateman on a 103.45, and Matt Summerfield next on a 104.37. So two of them into the 103s.
So this is Sean Haggerty.
That's Sean Haggerty
in that previous run, 105.02.
Comes to the line.
And at the split, last time he did. Away he goes along the line. He looks like a robber's dog. It's Sean Haggerty. And Brutus is heading up to the Hella hairpin, as well as the driver. So if he wants a 103, 104, he's going to have to wriggle under the 42nd mark to the Hella hairpin. Well, you'd have to say that Sean Haggerty is doing very well in the Brand Mechanical Limited Rally 4-wheel drive class.
So Sean did a 105.02 with the car on this spec last time, of course running under two different classes.
So a couple of attempts.
Yeah, a double dip this time is.
This could be a 104.
You think it's fair, Grant, have a double dip?
Oh, don't mind two drivers, but same
Yeah,
car.
same.
Not sure about that.
Not sure about that. No.
104.68 for Sean Haggerty.
104.68. That's a pretty good time. That's be improvement than last time, would it not, Grant?
Yes, a 105.02.
Yeah, there we are.
So slight improvement. Of course, we're into the unlimited four-wheel drive class now.
Well, here's Nick Clark on the line. The 34-year-old from Christchurch, the Mitsubishi Evo 8 RS.
Nick Clark on the start line now,
He's sponsored
and the
by
Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 6, car number 13.
and Retro Gaming.
This
And
is his first go here, so be pretty nerve-wracking stuff. This only his second time up here now. What did he do last time?
last time
Second attempt at that gear.
a 111.06.
Not bad for your first go.
No, because I can imagine you
This
could
should
go
be-
and do the reconnaissance run and puddle down the hill, but
Yeah.
on full noise it must be quite daunting first time.
Oh yeah. So this will be interesting, this run.
22nd overall, so inside the top 32, but get a little bit more of a wriggle on, but still a great effort up in that first run for a first time here.
So Nick Clark heading up towards the Hella hairpin.
By Paddon Rallysport, Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. Okay, the time for the Hella hairpin. 43.21.
It's a pretty handy time to the top of 43.21.
43.41. The Hella hairpin.
Sorry, 43.41.
Here he comes through the Kumo Tyres finish line. Oh, he's got it sideways as you like. I'm glad they've got hay bales there.
A little bit sideways, cut a little bit of speed off on the way down as
Yeah.
well. And
109.84.
109.
109.84.
Nick Clark.
I'd just like to take a moment, Grant, to just say hi to my own family in Illinois and the States. I know they're watching, and they were very familiar with this event in its early years and in their early years too. So hope they can enjoy a few moments of reminiscing from the good old Ashley Forest.
Mark Peterson, sponsored by Subaru, Zicol,
Here goes Mark Peterson off on the course, car number 12, the Subaru Impreza,
So away he goes.
fourth
Up
time
the
competing
hill
at Ashley
goes
Forest,
Mark Peterson.
and it's just
And he
his
was
second
third
year back
overall
in
at
motorsport
2017
after
Tamutu
taking a
Gravel
break
Sprint.
for Mark Peterson. A 114.28 last time on the course. Let's see how his run goes this time.
He rallied in the North Island between 2001 and 2005. And this is his third time, or fourth time, in the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Just wait for the pictures for Mark Peterson to come to the hairpin on this glorious North Canterbury day, but okay.
Now there's problems there.
No, he's going slow.
So not sure what it could be.
So it looks like he's abandoned his run.
Uh, 102.43 to the Hella hairpin.
102 to the hairpin. So yep, this won't be a competitive time. And that's what we were talking about before, Lindsay. If you have a 114 needed to improve on this one, if you have an issue, he's got one more shot to try and make it.
Yeah, one more shot. Well, you park on the trailer, don't you? That's it.
Indeed.
So he is making his way down. Hopefully this is something that they can get fixed. Yep. Here he comes. Making his way down past the finish line. This is not going to be the quickest time of the weekend.
I'll try not. No. I'm just watching Mark go down.
So,
just under 2 minutes. That's not a bad effort.
not a great time for Mark Peterson. But I think on a run like that at the moment he won't be needing any of those Winmax brakes to pull it up to a halt on this one. But just like to thank Winmax Brakes for being one of our live streaming partners. Of course, it's a Japanese brake pad, one of the leading brake products in the world, used by the Hyundai World Rally Team and R5 cars. And of course, Paddon has brought these pads to New Zealand, uses them on his own 84 car, the same car you see here at Ashley Forest. And contact Paddon Motorsport if you would like to get yourself some Winmax brake pads. Very, very good brake pads. One of the best in the world, one of the best on the market for performance, driver feel, durability and lower temperatures. Winmax also the overall sponsors of the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint for this year.
24 overall in the first run of the day.
So Luke McLennan heading up the course. A 1:11.71 last time for Luke. Comes from Ashburton. This Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 3.
So as he makes his way up towards the Hella hairpin.
He's quite a seasoned competitor for this event. This is his fifth time here.
At the Hella hairpin. And waiting for that time at the Hella hairpin once again.
Each time he's made it into the top 16.
42.01.
So let's see if he can do the same this year.
He'll be heading past the Flower Hotel Zipper around about now. So should be looking at a high 110 to a low 111. 111.71 last time. He's quicker at the split. We'll see what the clock says as
so
he
has
comes
been
down
quicker
through the dipper and
at
already
the split.
finish line.
And
107.67. That's a good time for Luke McClellan.
107.67, which is a good time.
The first run was just a state passage to get through, make sure the car made it through.
It's a 4-second improvement, so it's pretty handy.
Systems check if you like. The next car up to the line, this is Jason McConnell.
so Jason McConnell coming up to the start line now. This is car number 10.
Yeah, big
As
Jason,
we head into the top 10.
This is our stock car driver.
Speedway modified,
Right.
super stock.
As I said to you before, I hope he doesn't pick on any trees up there. He will come off second best, Jason, if you try to attack a tree.
Former member of the Glen Eagle stock car team, or super stock team.
This is the 6th time Jason has competed at Ashley Forest. As he heads off up the hill to better his time, he did a 1:09.28, respectable time last time. And
So what can Jason do?
see what Jason can do for this particular run.
42.90 this time last time around to the Hella hairpin. 109.28. He's got to do a bit better than that. He's also sponsored by High Tech Wheel Alignment. This is the Mitsubishi Evo 7. Only could manage 18th in the first run. So he'll be looking forward to going a bit quicker and hopefully making the top 16.
Safely around the hairpin.
Yeah, he hasn't hit the tyres either. So
is the split time to the Hella hairpin. So marginally quicker, about 6/10 quicker.
he's fractionally quicker than last time as he exited the hairpin.
Somewhere around about 107, 108. Here he comes across the finish line. $108.97 for Jason McConnell.
108.97 for Jason McConnell.
Because his previous best here at Ashley Forest has been a 107. Garrett Thomas, the next car up on the line. This is car 9, the Subaru.
Next we have Garrett Thomas in the Subaru, the WRX, the later version.
Great form of late.
Garrett from Dartford, only his second year in motorsport, and boy, has he made a mark this season in rallying. So a name for the future certainly is Garrett Thomas. 106.
That was very efficiently off the line. That was very well done.
Motorsport highlights include third in the 2018 National Nelson Rally, third overall behind Josh Marsden and Ben Hunt.
Yes, did well in the Nelson Rally, of course, earlier this year, and his best result, second overall at Hamner behind Josh Marsden this year. So, as you said, Lindsay, certainly he's really finding his feet very quickly in this game.
He's obviously got the talent, hasn't he?
Yep.
And sixth overall in 2017.
Watch the space, as they say.
So shouldn't be too far away.
We did a 106.16 last time as he heads up towards the Hella hairpin.
Just about be finished the run by the time he comes down the hill. Once we get that split time, we'll be able to give you the run time. Here he comes, already down to the finish line. We'll give you the split time and then the run time. 39.75 for the Hella hairpin. 103.83 for Garrett Thomas.
103.83. That's a wicked time from Garrett Thomas. That's an improvement of just under 3 seconds on last time.
Sorry, that was the two-wheel drive unlimited class. Kiwi Signs sponsors the unlimited.
Next we have the big stallion, the big grunty stallion of
Graham Beering.
Graham Beering from all the way from Waihi in the famous Mitsubishi Starion that Steve Murphy would have pedalled here.
The Mitsubishi Starion of Graham Beering. Sponsored by Lynn Motors Limited, Pyroa.
Car that was built by Don Hickman.
Motorsport highlights including winning rally sprints, hill climbs, rallycross, grass track in his old Hillman or Hickman Avenger V8.
Of course, that's right. Yes, Don Hickman built the Avenger V8 before building the Starion into the V8. Exactly.
The Cordia V8.
Yes, the Cordia V8 is the one that Steve Murphy had, and this is the one that Don Hickman had. So.
The split time coming through. 42.90 to the Hella hairpin.
42.90 to the Hella hairpin.
That just about matches his split time. 9/1000ths of a second quicker. So Graham Beering is improving marginally, but it's still an improvement. And it sounds awesome coming downhill as he comes through the Kumo Tyres finish line in a time of 109.14.
very slight improvement for Graham from a 109.30 to a 109.14. But every improvement is an improvement.
The Stallion was the one that Kim Austin ran,
Yes.
and the low 50s, 3 years on the trot. Yeah. Righto, here we go with Trevor Crow. As I say, we said this morning about Trevor Crow. He's probably the legend of motorsport in this part of the world, having won this event, the first South Island to win it in 1985. And on the circuit, he's won many titles.
You just see that experience coming off the start line, not too aggressive, just letting it move before nailing it, making sure the drive line stays intact for the rest of the weekend. A 107.74 last time, and that gave him 13th outright fastest in the first run.
Split time was a 41.92. And of course he was the first South Islander ever to win the Winmax brake pads, Paddon Rallysport, Ashley Forest Rally Sprint.
Of course, you mentioned about his rally sprinting efforts, of course, but never forget that he finished 4th at Bathurst and 3rd at the Wellington Street Race as well, when it was the Asia Pacific New Zealand Touring Car Championship. So, as you say, very adaptable and a great peddler.
109. We wait for him to come through the dipper and down to the finish line areas already.
Here comes Trevor through the finish line.
109.22 for Trevor Crow.
109.22, so he's gone slower from a 107.74.
But we'll still see him back tomorrow. I suggested
Yeah.
32, all right.
The next one up to the line. This is car 6.
Probably just using the old stock tyres now until it really
Well,
counts.
he probably is too, actually.
Nothing wrong with using a technical game, is there?
Of course. The Winmax brake pads, Ashley Forest Rally Sprint, sponsored by Blenheim Testing Station.
So Neil Webb comes to the line now
Thank you to his
from Blenheim in his
family.
Mitsubishi Mirage. And this will be the first of 2 Evo powered
Unfortunately, he crashed on the
Mitsubishi Mirages to come. And
Gosh, that's impressive, Grant. These two Mirages are like little rocket ships, aren't they?
they are.
Off
No-
the line.
no
Just
weight to get off the line.
No weight. And the power band was so even through the first 2 gears, wasn't it?
Converted to an Evo 3 running gear in 2007. Has slowly
He
disbalanced
did a
from
106.63 last time.
there. Has competed in over 100 events.
So
Managed to put himself 11th quickest. 106.63.
two-time hill climb champion. He knows all about
the
the strategy and what it takes to stay in the game in these events. And also a 2-time New Zealand club sport champion as well.
That's a good improvement. 1.5
So
seconds.
1.5 seconds quicker to the hairpin than his last run.
105.
So that would then definitely put him into a
Could be even quicker.
105.
We'll see what he can do. Neil Webb in the Mitsubishi Mirage. Here he comes across the finish line. Well, he's got a fair bit of boogie downhill. There's the 51-year-old Neil Webb. 102.69.
102.69. That was a
Effort, a
good improvement
102.69.
downhill. Then he must have really.
That's quicker than what Sloan Cox did in the first run.
That's a very good time.
So Neil Webb.
Now we've got Mike Tall in the similar example to Neil Webb. Mike Tall, been around for a while.
With Evo running gear. Well, many are predicting Mike Tall to be the other semi-finalist here at the Winmax brake pads. Ashley Forest
Mike did a
Rally
102.04 last time.
behind the big three.
Mike, who was a runner-up here in 2012 and also finished a creditable 5th in the race to the sky in Wanaka back in 2015, which is the last time it was held.
I do recall in the early development of this car they had the odd niggling mechanical issue, but seems to be sorted now, as often you do when you're making these hybrid
I do
specials.
recall that, he did, yeah.
38.14 was the split to the Hella hairpin. First time up this morning. 38.78 has been set down in this run by Neil Webb. He's also a former New Zealand gravel hill climb champion.
38.14 to the split last time, so once you get below those 40-second marks to the top, that you know you're getting on a quick run down.
Overtime to the Hallahappin
And-
Mike Tool. 37.83, that's a cracker on the time.
37.83 for the split.
Well, that's going to put him
That's
right
impressive.
Up
That
there
is
to
right up there with those big guys now.
See what he can do, Mike Tool. Should be about to appear out of the trees. Well, last year he broke the minute barrier. Here he comes. What's the time going to be? So not quite this run, a 103.88.
Oh, 103.88, which was, we thought it'd be a bit quicker than that.
So he lost a bit on the downhill.
Yeah, but downhill.
Here comes car number 4.
We're getting seriously in now. Here's another former winner here, and
That's the Mitsubishi Evo. Now this, I believe
through
this is the car that's
Glenn through from South Otago.
correct me if I'm wrong. And he lists his sponsor as his credit card. 20th overall in the first run. A good run from Glenn through. The 110.55. Finished runner-up in a close finish back in 2010
Glenn through heads off up the hill, just showing that a 15-year-old car can still boogie and still make it happen. But he will be wanting to make it happen if he wants to keep up with the top guys, because the 110.55 last time, he's going to need to trim that a little to get down to the fastest guys in the unlimited class now. All down chasing Neil Webb on a 102.69, and then Mike Tall and Garrett Thomas on 103s.
He was just telling me that Alistair never had
Oh,
a
that's a
four-wheel
bit
drive
unfortunate.
on his first run. He said that's why it was moving around. He said,
Right.
yeah.
That's unfortunate for Glenn
gonna be quick
Crew.
this
He's
time, isn't it?
turned it upside down. That's the king.
Oh,
He's okay. He's out of
what
the
you
car,
guys
though,
haven't
so,
seen out there is that we've lost Glenn through. He's gone over.
paramedics and the recovery crew down.
So we'll have a wee break here for a wee while. I suggest, what a shame.
So that incident obviously just happened in one of the blind spots on our course. Of course, this is all covered by Wi-Fi coverage, and there was a couple of blind spots on the course. We'll just take a break from the commentary, and we'll be back in just a moment.
He was the second ever South Island to win this title. So that means there is a little wee bit of a break, folks, while we sort out this car.
Off.
Matt Summerfield.
So that was that was number 4, wasn't it? It's gone up over. Bloody quick car too, wasn't it?
So we're going to make the next few competitions a little bit easier. We're going to make them text comps. So I'll give you a cell phone number. Note this one down. Put it somewhere safe. When we do, the next couple of questions may not be today, but there'll be more tomorrow. Note this number down. Those that are clever enough will work out whose cell phone number this is. So the cell phone number is, for the text competition, 027 487 6217. I'll repeat that number again. This is for the text comps. 027 487 6217. Only text through when the question is asked, and the correct one will be touched with when we do another text comp.
Watched the bridesmaids for a couple of years now. Now I've got the big screen TV on the sky. I'm like, there's a business issue, please. Yes. Are you going to? I'm going to tell them before I'm telling for the weekend what it is. Lost my bike coming in. How is it? And there's a few there, and so I have to go and see today. Tennis ground for one paint, but not sitting on some of my round. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I would have gone with you, but 1 day's in a row. Because in that 1 month I was Fairfax, Cecil Paradise, and then you get the overseas, you get the All Blacks overseas there. Oh, yes. So, where does that start? Take a check. Where does that start? That's the beginning of the Rallysport. I think I'll get to the one England game since I was November 8th, I think. And I think because the Fairfax is a week later, it's the 14th as well. So the 1 month will take it back. And we can watch Liam's live stream on the big screen here. All I sent down is watch 2 beautiful race races. Hey Ryan, what size is your dad's TV? Is it a 32? It's not a big one, just in the grinding. All going alright?
That's a disappointing Batman event. Oh, he's got cheese. Why he goes in from one beer?
Because he's kept talking to me
It'll be close for a week, then.
Give one of our because then you went across all pages.
There you go. And that is, I think we're up to the top 3, aren't we?
No, not quite. Oh, almost.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, yes. Welcome back to our live streaming coverage here for the Wintex Brakes Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. The crews are just clearing away the car for Glenn Frew, who tipped it over on the way up the course, and once that car's cleared we will be back with the live action, and that will not be very far away. Just while we wait for the proceedings to get underway again, just a special mention to our live streaming partners who have helped make it possible for us. Of course, Winmax, brake pads, Magnum Compliance, the Magnum Group, Import Parts, Carters, and Brita Safety, and Import Parts Specialists, of course. If you're around the Canterbury area, we will know these people well. The company was originally set up in 1988 by Paul and Ian Carter, still owned by Paul Carter to this day, situated at 358 Sanassa Street in Christchurch. Now they sell new automotive parts to the trade and the public, brakes, clutch, suspension, small hard parts, those hard to find parts for European and Japanese vehicles. You can call on Import Parts Specialists for those. All items of the highest quality, and they pride themselves on that. They supply many parts to franchise dealers as well, wholesale trade, special Indian orders, very competitive, efficient and accurate supplier with nationwide distribution. Of course, Paul and his company have been long-time supporters of both motor racing and rallying. Paul and Ian both have run in the South Island Endurance Series for 10 years with much success, and many years ago they were sponsors of Trevor Parmenter in the Nissan Power mid-engine Mazda 323. Many of the long-time competitors will remember Trevor and the success that he had on this event, and Lindsay, you would remember Trevor in that particular car.
Oh, totally. That was revolutionary, that car too. That was home built, and it was very rapid. If he'd stuck with it a bit longer, it would have been even better. But like one of those home built kit cars, it takes a long time to get them going, doesn't it?
It does indeed. It does indeed. And so Import Parts Specialists, don't forget to support them, one of our live streaming partners. And the wind picking up a little bit this afternoon, just chilling off a wee bit, but it's still been a glorious day. The sun is still shining here in Ashley Forest. You can tell by the dust that it's certainly dry, and it's going to make for a very good, I would imagine, hard, fast surface for when all the elimination runs start to get underway tomorrow. And for those of you new to the rally sprinting format, of course today the drivers have 3 timed runs. The top 32 fastest times will go forward to the 32 elimination run, and from that just 16 cars will then continue on, and the top 16 halved again to the top 8, to the top 4, and the 2 fastest drivers will race off for the glory of winner of the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint.
We have the car of Glenn through on the back of the truck coming through now, so you might get to see what it's like. Yeah, been over all right on that roof. Doesn't look too bad. on this side, or the other side's a bit worse, yeah, so we won't see it tomorrow, I wouldn't think, that car, but you never know. Matt of Vince is great, talking about the weather here. It's actually 14 degrees at the moment, and tomorrow's high is 18, and obviously a fine day.
So there we are. So grab your picnic basket and come and join us here at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint course for the Winmax brake pads 2018 edition of the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. We just have our ambulance and emergency service personnel just moving back up the course to get into position before they can clear the course, and we then get underway with what we know are the top 3 entries for the rally sprint this year. Alistair McRae, of course, will be the first one to come up to the start line in the Subaru Impreza World Rally car, the car that was driven in the World Rally Championship by Possum Bourne and then purchased and brought back to New Zealand, is retained by the Vantage Group and runs Vantage colours. It was used in the Gold Rush hill climb in Wanaka, has been driven up Rod Millen's course at the Leadfoot Festival on tarmac, and it's been many years since this car has competed on gravel, and it's great that Craig Vincent from Vantage has brought the car out and brought Alistair McRae across from Perth, where he resides these days. Of course, the brother of the famous late Colin McRae. Alistair, a very successful World Rally campaigner, Asia Pacific winner in his own right, and runs driving schools and competes a little bit over in Western Australia, but always gets called up to drive in the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint, or any car. In fact, when they bring out this rather special and collector item edition, no doubt, the Subaru Impreza World Rally car with slightly better specification than it ran back then, to compete in these specialist events.
And to be fair, in his own right, Alistair McRae lived in the shadow of his brother and also his father, Jimmy McRae, who also is very, very well known in the rally scene. Alistair did win the British Championship on one occasion, and his father Jimmy won it on 4 or 5 occasions. So, yeah, he's one of those drivers that it's just in the blood. He's a natural, and he's done very well for himself. He drove WRC for Hyundai in his earlier days in rallying, and also for Mitsubishi as well. He had a few drives with them.
So the McRae name, legendary in rally circles, and I certainly remember the very first time that Colin came to New Zealand. Gary Smith invited Colin and his father Jimmy out to drive Sierra Cosworths. The two-wheel drive, I think they were the two-wheel drive cars on that day, or were they four-wheel drive?
No,
two-wheel drive Cosworths? Four-wheel drive.
That's a good point there. I think they were four-wheel drive. Yeah.
And I remember Jimmy's car retired, I think, down in the forest, Tokoroa Forest, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Can Colin continue on from bank to bank, as I record? It was a little bit worse for wear when the car finished, but that was the beginning of the famous McRae
I'll never forget
style.
Colin McRae here when he won the World Championship. He was driving for Subaru then. It'll be the most spectacular drive I've ever seen since Ari Vartanen then.
Indeed. So our 3 cars still to compete their second qualifying run today, as we call them, the top 3. Alistair McRae in the Subaru Impreza World Rally car, Hayden Paddon in the Hyundai AP4, the car that he uses on the New Zealand Rally Championship. Has extra aerodynamic effects on it, obviously bigger horsepower engine installed, and he has certainly set the benchmark so far by being the only driver today to go under the 1 minute mark when he laid down a 59 second run, a 57 second run, I beg your pardon, 57.18 the first time. So just makes you wonder how much more time there is left in that car. And the number 1 seed, of course, Sloan Cox, who currently holds the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint record, which he reset last year at a 55 or 56.
56 was it?
56. So yes, it's going to be from the days that when everyone wanted to try and crack the 1 minute, and the odd occasion we get in the final somebody did it. Now they're setting those lot. Well, Hayden's already set it in the very first run of the event. So
Bill Walker's won the class previously, and so has
a 54.96. That's right. Sloan Cox got down to a 54 last year. So in that all-time special. So that is a very, very quick time.
at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint, the
54.
Winmax
9.6, the one to beat, and Sloan has come here with the intention of improving yet again on that course record.
I think there was a hold up again because they're worried about sunstrike. It's starting to sink a bit here now, and they're worried about on the approach to the hairpin, the sun being in the driver's eye. So I think I heard when you were talking, Grant, they're going to delay again.
We've just had the call from the organisers, a 10-minute delay, just to allow the sun to move position a little bit, come down and stop that sun strike, because I imagine at the speeds these guys head up the top of the hill, the last thing you want to see is a full face of sun when you get to the top of the course. So
caravans are situated at 23 Birmingham, 23B.
Watching our live streaming coverage, folks, you have time to go and make yourself a cup of tea and get yourself ready to see how fast the top three guys are going to come through the second qualifying run here today.
5739, or check out the website www.ukcaravan.
Don't forget our good sponsors, the British Safety Group, who you'll find at 591 Horswell Junction Road in Christchurch and Hornby. Come into the store before the end of September. Mention Ashley Forest Rally Sprint and you'll get a 15% discount off your new John Bull or Blundstone footwear, and you'll also get a free gift on top of that with the purchase you make. So a very, very good offer from British Safety. Thanks guys, our live streaming partners. So pop into the store before the end of September for that 15% discount and your free gift as well. They specialise in screen printing, monogramming. They have a great range of safety clothing, work clothing, corporate clothing, teamwear, to ensure that you and your staff are getting your brand out there. They're open 7:30 in the morning till 5:30. They have all workwear, wet weather gear, high-vis clothing, even disposable overalls, gumboots, work boots, slip-on, lace-up, and even women's footwear as well. Workwear, fleeces, jerseys, jackets, vests, polo, anything you need for work and anything you need to work safely, you'll get at British Safety. And don't forget that special on until the end of September. Mention Ashley Forest for your 15% discount off the new John Bull or Blundstone footwear and the free gift with purchase. 591 Horswell Junction Road, Hornby in Christchurch.
UK Caravans for the start line caravans. Hyundai for the use of
Do these things, they're paying the bills.
That's the paying the bills, indeed it is.
It's Ed Coombe for the rubbish bins, Kiwi Signs for their promotional material, secure fence and scaffolding.
First day of competition
Scaffolding.
getting close, and gosh, they're going to be pushed to even get a third run through today now.
David Pontoff for the course preparation.
But
Jeff Wright, Robertson.
stay with us, folks.
Is there a
As
close
soon
off
as the
time?
action,
Is there a close off time?
And the team.
I'm not aware of a close-off time, no. But
And of course, you may have seen some of the posters.
I don't see
up
too
around
many
town.
light pods around, so
At Ripco Fitzgerald Ave, Hellers, Butler Auto Marts, Ripco Shirley, Stanmore Road Auto Spares, Ripco Kaiapoi.
it's still a great crowd here, Lindsay, watching the event today. Wherever you look,
I've seen very few come out of that forest. Good boys.
Buchan Street, Rare Spares, Burgers and Beer.
Thank you very much. Well, look, we're just while we wait then, while you guys at home are perhaps having yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, we'd just like to say thanks very much to
Thanks, boys.
the coffee makers here at Ashley Forest Course,
Oh, yeah, boys, you
who
share that
have
between you. We share it between you.
very kindly sent our money back along with our all press coffees. So if you are heading out to Ashley Forest and you're looking for a good coffee, coffee, food, everything here to make your event most enjoyable. Thank you very much to the team in the van for our coffees. So just while we're waiting, and people who might have joined our live streaming a little later than when we first started this morning, Lindsay, we were talking about where this event got its name from, how it came about. Just recap on that one again. 1979, wasn't it? Was the
yeah, it was the same club that we're seeing here now, which is the Raytec Motorsport Club. And the idea came following a rally, when the rally's up here. Bear in mind that rallying had been around for about 10 years at the time, and there was our club captain, a young fella called Tony Booth was his name. That was his idea, and he plotted that first one, which was down Mount Grey Road, which is on the up road, but it was downwards, right from the back. And we got a good field, and a chap called Steve Millen won it in a semi-work Chevette, 2.3 twin cam Chevette, and Tony by himself figured that we can do better than this, and wasn't quick to learn that, hey, the course as we got it now, that was a logical way to go, and we could get television. Now he was the one all by himself, went to Wellington, went to Avalon, and convinced Television New Zealand that they should televise this event live. They agreed to it, and they gave the club $40,000 for the privilege. And that's how it started, all because of Tony Booth. And he had a little printing business called Hub Print. Right. And our 1980 event was known as the Hub Print Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. Right. And that's how it started, and from there it's waxed and waned, and over the years, with television especially. And it became the Dunlop Rally Sprint for many years, when we had to pay for television, of course. And and here we are now.
And as we found out, the last live televised event from here was 1993, and a big congrats and pat on the back to the Momac team for coming up with this idea of being able to live stream it. With modern technology, has brought it down to such an affordable cost, and with our live stream partners and using technology that just wouldn't be permissible back in those days, and here we are for the first time in 28 years.
Those of you out there
coverage
who are listening to this and hearing my voice, if you saw me, you'll know that I'm not of a modern technological type person, and this to me is absolutely unbelievably wonderful. I just cannot believe what's going on. Don't ask me how it all works, I've got no idea, but I think it's just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And this is the future, I suggest.
Indeed, the days of the camera crews laying out miles and miles of television cable to join the cameras up. Here today we've got it all via Wi-Fi, and the Momac team have gone to the very latest technology to make this happen. There was a couple of blind spots on the course, which you get when you don't have cameras linked by cable, but for the amount of coverage we can see of the course, and to see it live after all these years, I think it's a tremendous effort, and well done to Ryan and his Momac team.
Yes, I've got to congratulate Ryan McDonald and Momac for dreaming this up. I mean, I know Ryan's had a great family background of rallying and been involved with motorsport all his life, and even had a crack at rallying himself. His little Datsun got owned a few years ago, and it's in the blood. But to have produced this today has been a great move, and I really hope it gets rewarded for it and more events actually.
So behind us here we can hear some of the cars warming up, so those top three won't be too far away, we hope. As we mentioned, due to the sun strike at the top of the hill, we've just the organisers have just called a 10-minute halt to proceedings, and that's for safety reasons a very wise call, and we now wait for Alistair McRae to bring up this fantastic ex-Boston-born Subaru World Rally car. We can hear Hayden, looks like Hayden behind us is now heading up the warm-up road, if you like. They like to go up and warm the brakes, warm the tyres, and getting into the serious part of qualifying to run today.
I just think of Hayden being in here, and I suggest it's a good reason why a lot of you people are here, because of Hayden, or people who are actually on the course. to think that, you know, how many other World Championship competitors, whether it be Formula One, whether it be rally cars, could compete in an event on the world stage one weekend, next weekend be thousands of miles at home the other side of the world competing in basically a club event. Not many would do that now.
No.
Which is great credit to Hayden for being here, and I really acknowledge him for that.
And also for building a local car to run in the New Zealand Rally Championship, to come home and support the class. And it's just, I mean, it's brought the people out on the stages this year again, hasn't it? It's just lifted the profile as it does.
You know, to think last weekend he got a podium finish in Turkey, and it's just incredible. Of course, this is where he started himself at the age of 14, so he has a special association with the event.
And of course he often talks about the limited program he has with Hyundai this year, that to be able to do the New Zealand Rally Championship keeps him rally fit, if you like, and when you see him out on the stages in an AP4 car, which is the same as the rest of the New Zealand drivers use, but you just see when you get into the international echelons, I guess, of any form of motorsport, and you come back and compete at home, the old story that you always lift your game to the people you compete against, and to see the level he's competing at now and driving at is astonishing and fantastic to watch, and well done to Hayden for keeping the sport alive and well in New Zealand.
Use the word astonishing, and that's how I see it. So it's totally astonishing, and it does. The bar gets raised, doesn't it? Yeah. You don't think it can be like, you can never go further and further, but he certainly has shown that his step from a national championship scenario to what he's doing now, and it's a big bar to raise, and he's doing it. And he comes back here and he's showing the fruits of his success of being able to raise the bar.
That's right.
Right, we're back live on the course now with the lead car or the pace car out in front of us, clearing the course, and then once he's through, then we'll all be ready to go again with our top three. It's Alistair McRae, Sloan Cox, and of course Hayden Paddon.
Of course, we're expecting, as we said, Sloan Cox holds the record here at a 54.96 these days, but as Lindsay mentioned, the very first one was won by Steve Millen. On this particular course, John Wolfe in 1980 had the Mazda RX-3 round the course in 1 minute 10.81, and just coming down to see, when they got down to the 1 minute 5s, that was Tony Teasdale in 87 in the Metro 6R4. The 59, the first time the minute barrier was broken, was Rod Millen and that Mazda RX-7 four-wheel drive in 1988. Then the next lowest time came down to a 58.27 by Kim Austin. That was in the Nissan Pulsar GTI, the four-wheel drive. That was in 1993. And then, of course, Kim then lowered that in the Starion V8 four-wheel drive, won it 3 years in a row, and lowered it to 56.57, and that certainly stood for many, many years. In fact, it wasn't until Matt Summerfield broke that time 56.57. No, in fact, it was 55.13. Sloan Cox 2017. So, yes.
I must go back to that one of Teasdale, was it 87, was it? 87 was Teasdale?
Correct.
105.
104.
Yeah, 104. That was the year of the fog, and we were picking, it was a semi-works car, that, and we were picking that, he would have gone close to 1 minute had not been for the fog. Well, it was a shame really, because the anticipation was extremely high, having a car like that here, and the fog, the fog ruined that run anyway.
Of course, they were talking about the last time this was televised by Television New Zealand Live in '93. which is when Kim Austin won it, and they was telling us that the day after there was a foot of snow here. So
I don't recall that, but yeah.
But looking at the forecast, they tell us there's a cold southerly coming tomorrow night. So as long as it stays to tomorrow night.
Now I think about that, I had Barry Robinson staying with us, and he didn't go home on that. He didn't go home on the Sunday, and because of the snow. And his wife was not happy because they were lambing at the time. Yeah, I think so. And he didn't go home, and we spent all day watching rally tapes on the video machine. Yeah, and when the snow cleared, Barry took the kids for rides around the block until we knew that the traffic boys weren't far away. Gosh, the things you bring out of your memory bank.
Very, very good.
And if my kids are listening all over there in the States, they will remember that very, very well.
And a big hi to you wherever you are watching the live streaming. We've had calls from various people around New Zealand, but the international coverage that we're seeing from Germany, from USA, from
Indonesia.
Yes, Indonesia.
India.
And
Japan.
Great to have you all with us. Thank you for joining us. And I guess it just shows also what an iconic event this is. We think it is in New Zealand, but you think that there's people outside of New Zealand that actually know what this event is all about.
Well, I'll go back to what I said before, people outside of the South Island of New Zealand. No, I think I'll rephrase that now because there's a good number of North Island boys are here this weekend, so the message might have got through.
Now, Boston won this
Right,
event twice.
I think here he is, Alistair McRae, I think is coming up to the start line now. Alistair McRae and the fabulous ex-Possum-born WRC Subaru Impreza. Now we did hear a whisper that the first time he ran, when he did a 1:03, that it wasn't actually in four-wheel drive on the first run.
Yeah, it did seem a bit awkward, didn't it?
So that probably explains why we sort of looked at each other a little bit sideways as he took off from the start line. So I'm sure they've got that rectified this time, and I think it's going to be a much faster time than a 1:03 for Alistair McRae.
Former WRC driver for the Works Hyundai team.
Of course, we talk about the families in motorsport locally with the likes of the Judds and so forth, and of course the McRae. They have to be a family where both boys have been world rally car drivers, and Jimmy himself a
five times British champion.
Yeah. Probably one of the best tarmac drivers, rally drivers in the world.
Yeah.
British rally champion. The 1999
So here he goes.
champion.
Alistair McRae, folks.
Either way.
You talk about gearing and you listen to the gears of that car, it's just absolutely
perfect gearing, wasn't it?
Perfect gearing.
All those ratios are all very much in line. And he's laid a trail of dust here at the start-finish line.
And must say again, you know, congratulations and thanks to Craig Vincent for allowing this car to come out and join in this event this year, because to have three cars of such great spec is just fantastic, and I'm sure that's helped to bring the large crowds out here as well. Such an iconic car.
So unfortunately, right now, due to a technical issue, we cannot issue times from the hairpin or the end, but there will be times.
Well, no, unfortunately we can't give you Alistair McRae's time. He's through, as you can see, but there's a bit of a technical issue, but we'll get it to you as soon as we can.
Give you those results, but they are coming through. So hang fire, and we will get them through as soon as we can.
So I guess that's the first time that Alistair McRae has had this car on full song here on the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint course.
It was actually quite noticeable too, wasn't it?
Yep.
Watching that car this time, it wasn't sort of wallowing as I termed it last time.
Well, here he is,
Hayden Paddon comes to the start line now, the Hyundai. It's a New Zealand championship winning rally car. with a few extra aerodynamic aids on the car, bigger horsepower motor, and
So Hayden last time.
this set a spectacular time. Hayden last time at 57.18.
Yes, Hayden finished third in Rally Turkey behind Voigt Tanek and Jari Mari Lapila from Finland. He was also fourth in Rally Finland behind Voigt Tanek, Matt Osberg.
Hayden also, during this event, he auctioned off a ride in the car, so I wonder who the lucky person that's going to get to sit in there.
In Sardinia,
Wonder.
fourth place again behind Terry Neville, Sebastian Ogier, and Ibe Lapi. And
There he goes. That is an absolute rocket. That very short first gear, second gear,
until
and
we get this very small technical
incredible.
issue sorted. The times are still being recorded, just not accessible right at this very moment. Hayden Paddon won this event.
Just
in
watch Hayden
2011
flying through
behind
the
wheel
uphill part of the course.
V8
That is
Claudia
impressive to
of
watch that car.
Steve
And as he talked about, the very, very good suspension package that he's got in this car, and you can just see the way that car is sticking to the line and the speed that he's throwing it into those corners. That's quite impressive.
So look for Hayden. He should have been through the dip already. About to come through.
Wow. Here he comes.
To the
Whoa!
Lots of dust clouds coming through. That looks like a fast run.
That was a very good run, I suggest, from Hayden
Is
Paddon.
that quicker than the previous run?
How ironic, we get our fastest competitors on the line and we haven't got time for them.
We'll be up next. Our phone.
Don't worry, folks. As soon as we get them, we'll hand them to you.
We do apologise.
Brake pads. Ashley Forrest, Rally Sprint champion.
So up to the line now comes Sloan Cox.
Last year's top four.
And of course, Sloan Cox has been competing overseas in the World Rallycross Championship in the RX Academy, which is a class that runs one-make cars.
How'd you go on that, Grant?
He's had a couple of reasonable podiums, but because it's a front-wheel drive car that he's competing in, something that he's not been used to, having come out of rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. So in fact, he converted his car back to this particular car. They detuned it, put it back to front-wheel drive only, so he could get a bit of practice to before he went back overseas. So he's had some not bad results.
Something wrong there.
Oh, does not sound.
He dropped the cylinder.
I would suspect he has.
Yeah.
It's not what we want to
We're
hear.
pretty
Sloan has
confident.
been doing the RX Academy over in
We
Europe.
think he's dropped the cylinder there by the sound of that
Himself very
car.
well.
Let's just watch the vision as he comes into picture, but I suspect he will have slowed up.
I think he was slowed up pretty much, actually.
Yep. Yes, he has.
Still going, but only just.
No, he's slowed up.
Yeah.
Oh dear, he's cruising.
Such a shame. So this is the car that currently
Yes,
holds
didn't sound
the
great after the first 100 metres,
Rally Sprint record here at 54.96.
but he's made it to the hairpin. So it's
And
still
he'll
mobile,
just be
still
wanting to
going.
get that car down to the pits.
Hopefully this is
Here,
not
here the
an
guy
engine
might
issue.
say he's got
We
trouble with the
saw
plug
Paddon
lead, but I
last
can't say
year.
that now.
So I'm sure that time of 103 will be good enough to make it through to top 32. Hopefully he can get the problem rectified for tomorrow.
There he comes now down.
Yep, just cruising down. So
Just wandering down the hill.
but of course, the only time he's set so far is a 103.56, so it'll still get him into the top 32, of course.
Oh,
But
of course, yes.
Cox. Definitely not the run he wanted. The engine's still running, so that's a good sign.
Everyone going home now. We haven't got times.
So no times through as yet, and coming on to a 3:45 here on the course. We wait to see whether or not there will be a third qualification run today. Originally, of course, on the program they were hoping to do 4. That was cut down to 3. But with the timing now, let's wait and see
we'll hopefully be able to give you some times.
whether or not we will have another run. Still waiting on those times to come through for Alistair McRae and Hayden Paddon, but I would suggest that the time, the way Hayden looked to be going on that car, I'm sure he's gone quicker than a 57.18.
Yeah, right.
It's definitely going ahead. All right, well, we're just waiting for those times to come through, but we may have to bring them back to you when we resume our commentary. So we're just going to take a short break on our commentary. Again, we'd just like to thank Winmax brake pads, Magnum, Import Parts, Carter's, Tyres and Rangiora, and British Safety for bringing our live streaming coverage to you today and tomorrow. And we'll be back live on the course very shortly.